What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. All right, check it out, guys. We talking about my guy, Errol the True Spence today. So I've been talking about a whole lot of things, but haven't really been talking a whole lot here lately about Errol the True Spence. But it's about that time. It definitely is about that time. Let me drop the link in the chat. See what we got up in the building. We got my man Ness Mendoza in the building. What's good with you, Ness? Appreciate you, my man Joshua Little Don. What's the scene? What's the signs to the chat? Hey man, what's good with you, Joshua? Appreciate you coming through. My man Unrivaled Boxing Talking News. Why you fanboy for the oh shit. My man Ness Mendoza again, second time. What's up, Ness? Appreciate you. Toby Barlett in the building. Errol Spence, Errol Soldier Boy Spence. Yeah. I'm getting ready to get it in. All right. What's up, Nate? Nate Morgan in the building. What's good? Iceman in here with us. What up, fellas? All right, so yeah, man. Look, check it out, man. Of course, I haven't even really talked about Spence a whole lot, but and again, there's been so many things to talk about. To me, there was just to grasp my attention a little more than Spence. Spence situation is what it is. He's getting ready to fight Danny Garcia. We need to see how he is, regardless of what his fanboys or his groupies say. We need to see how he looks after this accident. And if the chin holds up, then Spence is pretty much what we think Spence is. So that's how it is with Spence. But what I want to speak about today is the hate. Because what I'm not going to tolerate when it comes to any of my boys, Tyson Fury, Jamel Charlo's back in there, Teofimo Lopez, Errol Spence, Canelo Alvarez. What I'm not going to tolerate is the hate. You understand? And that's what we talking about today. Because you ain't going to, not you guys, but it ain't going to be no hate. Ness Mendoza, one more time. What's good? Appreciate you, Ness. Errol, Paul Walker, Spence. No way, Mark. You're crazy. Errol Spence would have broke Paul Walker's little body up and beat him down. Remember Castro in the building. What's good with you, my man? And then Rivals on fire right now. Yep. Queen Lisa in the building. What's good? Marcus speaking fire right now. Well, Mark and Ivy T, you guys are no stranger to this panel or that link. So you can always click that link. And for the love of sports, let's talk about it. Guido in the building. What's up, Guido? He said, D, to be honest, I'm late on Errol Spence. I haven't seen him in the ring outside of his highlights. Oh, okay. No worries. I will catch you up to speed, my friend. I will catch you up to speed. Lisa giving shout outs, Toby giving shout outs. So, first, I'm going to state the obvious here. Spence is finished. Okay, this is just absolutely ridiculous. All right. And yes, there are idiots out there already talking about Spence is finished. So I'm pretty sure most of us here don't believe that. Not at all. But here's this thing too. Danny is definitely now I've heard, and it's not just Danny Swift, not JFL, not just him. I actually heard Danny's definitely gonna put Spence away. He's gonna knock him out. I'm just wondering, what is Errol Spence? Although the question is his chin, I would assume that there are other elements that he brings to the ring, what he can do in the ring. That's still there. So I'm just wondering, when Danny Garcia just goes in here, the offensive specialist now, Danny Garcia, when he just goes in here, I'm just wondering how he's just going to go in there and simply knock Spence out. Because what is Spence going to be doing while Danny Garcia is just coming in here to knock him out? And where's all of this coming from? What if Danny Garcia, besides fighting an Adrian Granados, and car accidents or not, Spence is no damn Adrian Granados. But outside of Adrian Granados, when is the last time we've seen Danny Garcia just go in there and demolish anyone? Put an 80% Spence ahead of Adrian Granados. And that's pretty much the last time I see Danny Garcia go in here and just demolish anyone. So I want to know where all these misnomers are coming from. My guy Errol Spence is just going to go into the ring and get demolished by Danny Garcia. Where the hell is this coming from? What's up, Brian?
Yo, what up, D?
What's going on?
No, I ain't got very long. I've got about 5 minutes, maybe less. So, just want to put I don't think a lot of people have hatred for Spence. I just think a lot of people don't know where he is right now, physically, mentally. I think that is, I think if you ask a lot of people, they all think Spence is a good boxer. He's a good fighter. He's tough as nails. He's been in some good fights. But where he is right now, I think there's a lot of people just questioning where he's at. And with what has gone on with him, it's a reasonable question. I don't think it's nothing to do with hatred. Not for me, anyway. I won't judge him, see him on that scale.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Garcia fight, I won't say who will win until I see both fighters on that scale and I get an idea of what both men, especially what Spence looks like, because I think of Spence as 80% of what he was before he beats Danny Garcia. I just do.
Mm-hmm. Play something out with it.
Yeah.
And play something out with it. Well, see, here's what I'll say about that, Brian. Now, your breakdown was perfect. That was, well spoken and everything, but here's the reality of it. A lot of these fans out here ain't coming from the perspective of you. And yes, sir, there absolutely is hate going on right now for my guy, Errol Spence. And it's because, again, to say that the question is there, I'm with that, right?
Yeah.
But to say that Danny Garcia is going to knock Spence out and show that he was the hype job we've been saying he was, that's pure hate, man.
Yeah, but if Danny Garcia, right, I'm just going to put this in there. If Danny Garcia knocks out Spence, does he get the full credit that Danny Garcia deserves, or is it because of the accident?
Well, I'm pretty sure the accident will be mentioned. But my point is that the statement.
Okay?
No. So I'm talking about the statement that Danny Garcia will knock Spence out and prove that he's the hype job he is. To me, that's hate. That's just hate.
What if Errol Spence Jr. comes in and blitzes Danny Garcia? That's the other. Blitz him, just absolutely destroys him. That's the other question. He may come back more focused than ever. He may come back. He may come back a better fighter.
Right.
We don't know what you see. The point is, well, a lot of people, they don't know the mindset of the man. They really don't. I don't know the mindset. I don't know what he's been through over the last 12 to 15 months. I don't know, because I haven't been in, I haven't been in that, I haven't been in that situation. I don't know how he's recovered from the accident. I don't know physically or mentally, is it, what damage that's done to him. I don't know if it has done any damage to him, mentally or physically. We don't know. And I think from a lot of boxing perspective science, I think that's the point of view a lot of them are coming from. And some of them may think maybe he is finished. Maybe he can't do it anymore. And there may be some who just are wait and see.
Right. Now, right. Now, Brian, there's a lot of fans that's coming from that perspective. But Brian, let me keep you locked in here. I don't want to fucking talk about the fans coming from that perspective. Because those are not the comments I'm reading. Those are not the videos I'm seeing. Those are not the Instagram or Twitter posts that I'm seeing. So I don't give two rat's ass about those fans coming from that perspective. What I'm talking about, Brian, is the fans coming from the hate. Now, if you haven't seen it, I can respect the fact that you haven't seen it. But I don't give a shit about those fans that's coming with that good perspective. You made very valid points. But right now, I'm on 1,000, and I'm ready to flame and come at the haters. Okay, so the people that you're talking about, Brian, we ain't talking about the same people right now. You're talking about people that's being reasonable about the situation. You're talking about people that's looking at the situation from the sense of boxing and you know, a reasonable manner. That's not what I'm talking about, Brian. I'm talking about the idiots out there. Okay? And I want to speak on the idiots. Okay? Yeah. So I get your point, bro, and I'm not disagreeing with none of that. But right now, I got my clips loaded and I'm ready to shoot some bullets. And I'm not trying to shoot at the people you're talking about. I'm trying to shoot at the idiots. So let's get on the idiots and these idiotic narratives. You know what I mean? Because I think you and I, maybe Mark, you know, a lot of these guys and ladies in the chat, we see this fight for what it is. Spence doesn't have to be all the way back, in my opinion, to beat Danny Garcia, but he has to be a certain, you know, he has to be back a certain amount. Now, one thing you say you haven't really been tracking and following is, you know, what he's been doing, where his mindset is and all that. I have been on his Instagram, his Twitters, his posts, and actually the interviews he's been in. I've been watching those closely, listening to how he's talking, where he's coming from. I put a couple of videos up already on a couple of interviews. He did an interview with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson from the NBA. And I posted a video about everything he talked about that. And then later he did another interview with Brian Custer. And then I put that up and we talked about everything that he said in this interview. And then I've been following him on Twitter and Instagram and so forth, like I told you. But I have not been speaking a lot about Spence because you've been here for what I've been talking about. It's been a lot of basketball and then the other subjects, this bullshit with Teofimo and Eddie Hearn and Povetkin and White and Wilder and all of this crazy stuff. So I really haven't touched on my guy Spence. And like I said in the description, and yes, I'm here to take a shot here. You have enough idiots out there, such as a guy that wears glasses that thinks he's a prediction king and he's a severe Errol Spence fanboy. We have enough guys out there like that defending Errol Spence. And anything that's positive or correct about Errol Spence, they're definitely going to put that out, right? So I haven't really spent enough or much time with Errol Spence. Now it's time for me to defend my boy, just like I defended Teofimo Lopez. And for anybody out there listening right now, let me do this again. When I come with the defense, you can click this damn link and come get this music if you don't agree. Because like I said in the beginning of this, what we're not going to start doing, especially coming up onto this fight, is start disrespecting Errol Spence. But of course, you know the haters are going to come. Because when you're the best,
there's always haters.
You're always going to have the haters. So, you know, Spence has the haters coming. You know what I mean? A high job like he's always been. Let's talk about this part of the statement. How the hell, if in one breath you say he might not be all the way back because we don't know how that chin is, but then if he does get knocked out, he was a hype job and this proves it. See, that's the idiotic shit that I'm talking about. So which is it? Which is it? Is it possible to damn concrete damage his chin? Or is it just he's a hype job if he gets knocked out? See, those are the idiotic statements that I'm talking about. Those are the things that I'm going to attack and I'm not going to stand for. Because that's just pure foolishness. Go, what's good with you?
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
What's up, Mark?
What's happening, lads? Yo, serious trivia question for you, D. Why does Errol Spence have boobs, man? That's a genuine question. Why does this man have gynecomastia?
Well, Here's what I said. I actually put a video up about this a while ago. Could be because Spence had a whole lot of time practicing cycling off of PEDs. Because now this is hypothetical, guys. This is actually an effect that you see with guys who go on and off and cycle off those PEDs. They get the puffy nipple syndrome.
It's excessively rare. I just want to say this.
It is
Excessively rare for no, hold on. Excessively rare for a man to have gyneclomastia without having used performance enhancing drugs. It's excessively rare.
right,
Oh God.
but not to be gross or anything else. I don't take PEDs, and I've always had issues here. Swollen. My son has the same thing. They swell up. He doesn't take PEDs either.
Okay,
So,
but
hold on, Mark. Hold on. Let me finish now. Come on. Give me a chance here. So, as I said in my last video, it could be a sign of a guy cycling off of PEDs, excessive use, whatever. Or it could be a genetic thing. We just don't know.
right, I'm gonna ask a question. You've had the puffy nipple syndrome, right? But have you developed breasts? Because he has breasts.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, he does. That's breasts.
No,
It's
he
not just a
doesn't.
nip. He has a cup, D. That's a cup.
No, he don't, Mark. It's muscle, dog. I've seen his physique, bro. He's no breast, and even with the breast, that would probably be more hormone because I have not seen PEDs develop breasts. I mean, even still, the puffy nipple syndrome, like I said, when people came out with that, I was actually said I put my video was could Spence be cycling off of PEDs because it is a possibility. I'm not going to ignore it, but I've never touched any PEDs or my son, and our nipples get just as puffy as you ever seen his. Just because sometimes they shrink, they go up, they shrink, they go up. I don't know what causes it, and it is just like that. But you don't have to tell you, titty. The dude, first and foremost, he's too fucking fit, especially right now. For anybody to be
No,
saying
I
he's not
no.
titties.
When he cycles off, because I've asked a friend of mine who's a doctor, and
Right.
he said that's gyneclomastia. Those are breasts that he's developed in one of the pictures that I shown him. Those are
Right.
he's developed breasts from water back end. That can only be gyneclomastia. That was a doctor's opinion. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, those motherfuckers ain't always right either.
No, I
Every
know.
fucking
I
year
know.
they come out with a misdiagnosis. So I mean, it is what it is. It could be, but that's why I say it's a possibility. He was, doing the
Well,
PED thing, cycling on and off.
he'd know more about it than me because he's like just because he is actually a gynecologist. That's what type of doctor he is, a gynecologist. So
Right. Yeah. So, but I don't know, man. As far as the PED thing is concerned, I really don't give a shit. I say this all in all again because I think 95% of every fucking athlete in every major sport is doing
yeah,
something weird. That's just what I think. So,
38 and 0. 38 and 0. Danny Swift Garcia. Man, he's got perfect balance. He's got extra toes to help him out. I
right.
mean, this man has extra. He has extra body parts. Errol ain't been in there with people with extra body parts, man. He can do it all.
Right.
Nah,
Joshua Lewis said by the time I started to pay attention to the lower weight classes, Spence had his accident already. Oh, that's okay. Spence is a good fighter. He hasn't fought the best guys, and he probably should have moved up to 154, Joshua, 2 fights ago. Okay, so this is the reality of what's going on with Spence. He's sticking around 147 with the assumption of myself and the other fans is to clean out the division, to collect all 4 belts, and then he's saying that he's going to 154. The problem with Errol Spence is just until recently, the Porter fight, which is where you probably jumped in, Joshua Littlejohn, this is the first time he's fought any welterweight in the top 5. So that's been the complaint. He's fought little Mikey Garcia and Carlos Ocampo, which was a domestic Mexican fighter.
No.
Hold on. Let me finish that. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
I just want to say that's not fair. Kell Brook was ranked number 2 at welterweight when he fought him, and when he fought Porter, Porter was ranked number 4. Porter had a belt, and so did Kell. This is the third time he's fighting the top 5.
Well, I was going to get to that. But anyway, like I was saying, the Carlos Ocampos and the Chris Van Heerdens and such, Little John. So, but Mark was alluding to it. I was getting ready to get to that. And the reason I didn't say anything about Kell Brook is because he won the belt off of Kell Brook, but then he was discredited on that situation by so many people because Triple G broke his face up, got to use drain Kell Brook. So he didn't really get much credit for that Kell Brook fight. So although Mark is right, Kell Brook was ranked. And again, I was going to mention that he didn't really get much credit from the fans. So this is where we stand now. His only valid fight from a lot of people is Shawn Porter because he only fought a broken Kell Brook. And so a lot of people are still has Spence skill level in question. But since the accident, now there's another question with Spence. And this is what's going on with Errol Spence to catch you up to speed, kind of a summary. So far, this is what it is with Errol Spence. So I hope that helps you out, Joshua. But half of that shit is fluff. It's all fluff. It's bullshit and it's hate. Okay? Because a lot of things that they accuse Errol Spence for, right? And they cried about Errol Spence for. See, a lot of that's resurfacing with the Crawford situation. Because before Crawford moved up to 147, Joshua, Crawford ain't always been here. Errol Spence was in the exact same situation. Thurman didn't want to fight him. Danny Garcia didn't want to fight him. Shawn Porter didn't want to fight him. He was ready to fight all of them. None of them wanted to fight him. But here's what's different with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. With Terrence Crawford, they're still giving him the benefit of the doubt. A lot of people are starting to come around now and say, look, enough is enough. Terrence needs to fight somebody. But they were giving Terrence Crawford the benefit of the doubt because of what he'd done at 140. Not because of anything he'd done at 147. It was a lot to do with him cleaning out 140. So they gave him a pass. Although Errol Spence was going through the same situation. How can you demand and call him a hype job and call him all of this when these guys won't fight him, right? And so, like I say, the hate has been there. It's been a lingering thing. And now they're just unleashing it now. And I think a lot of these haters are hoping that Danny Garcia beats Errol Spence. I still think it's an uphill battle for Danny Garcia, even if Spence has.
Can I say something, Dan? Then I had to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hope Errol Spence wins, and I hope we get Spence Crawford. That's the fight I want to see, and I still think Crawford will win. That's where I'm with that. That's nothing to do with Errol Spence. I just think Crawford would win. So that's the fight I want to see, and I don't think I'm afraid to watch that fight. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's where I am with that. So, but I have to go anyway, D. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Appreciate you, Brian.
No worries, man. Have a good one.
No doubt. Intangible said, good day. Vladimir Holberg ended his career with a record of 39-27-4, 27 KOs. 8 of his losses ended as a result of disqualification. He will become lineal welterweight champion, defeating Ray Brunson. Interesting, Intangible. Thanks for that piece of information. Kind of out of the blue. Don't know much what that has to do with Errol Spence, but thank you for the update on the information. All right, Brian says, Spence, there's no hate. It's just, okay, yeah. Yeah, we went over that, but there's definitely hate, though. Definitely hate. Said, I did see Keith Thurman beat Garcia. Yeah, that was a while back, and I don't even think Danny Garcia is in the same place as he was in that Keith Thurman fight. I think we have somewhat of a less of a Danny Garcia that we've seen then. Charles 2 times in the building. What's good with you? All right. Danny Garcia has not stopped anyone good at 147. No, just Adrian Granados. And he got beat in his two-step up fights. This is why I don't understand where all of these, except JFL. I mean, he's proven to be a huge Danny Garcia fan. So outside of JFL, where are all of these doubters coming from about Spence? Because again, Danny Garcia is, if he was an offensive fighter, going to go in there and go after Spence and attack the jaw, bait Spence into certain punches, but this is not Danny. That's not even his style. He's a flat-footed counterpuncher. So he actually waits for you to make some moves. He's not the offensive, aggressive guy. That's not Danny Garcia. And then he's going to hold back from Spence anyway because the chin don't got nothing to do with the punches that's coming back. Yeah, you want to get at that chin, but you don't want to take certain shots either. It's not like Danny Garcia just going to run in there thinking he's going to do anything. He saw Shawn Porter get dropped by Spence. Whether Shawn Porter got right back up or not, he saw that guy with that granite chin touch the canvas. So what he's going to realize is that it might not be knockout power, but it's damn sure respectable power if it could put that chin, even if it was just a hand. If he could do that, because we could say it was just a hand and he got back up. But only you fucking seen it in slow motion. He was hurt. So he went down for a reason. That shot caught him clean, and Danny Garcia noticed that too. So it ain't no walk in the park. Mark says, I got a trivia question for D. All right, what is it? Oh, that was it. Why does Spence have boobs? All the way behind again. Mike from Boston, what's good with you? DSFD 38. No, yeah. I know. Dragon Leg, what's good? Two robberies on Facebook. Is this that JFL? Because you sound just like him. Yep, totally. It's just because the constraints for the live streams. Yeah, man. I've been having to put it. I don't know what's going on, man. These people on YouTube, man. I'm telling you, none of my notifications are going out. None of them. Don't make no sense. I gotta put them out myself. I got to put them out just now, but I usually post them like on Twitter and all that shit. Oh, so all right, let me get back to the chat. Get back to you guys. Oh yeah. X-Man says it's gonna be about the car accident. Garcia won't get credit. Probably not maximum credit. I'm gonna give him credit if he beats Spence, but I mean, look, it's no excuse, bro, with me anyway. Because I'm saying that the question looms. The dude got teeth knocked out by hitting his face on concrete. So people could call it an excuse or whatever. But again, that's something traumatic, and that matters. It could have cracked that granite chin. We always talk about granite chins in boxing, and a lot of times it's a guy that get in the ring and knock your ass out. That's what cracks that granite chin. Well, the concrete could have cracked Spence's granite chin. And whether people want to accept it or not, that could actually be a factor in him getting into trouble with Danny Garcia. Period. Errol Spence looked like Ben Stiller in the end of Dodgeball. My milkshake brings the boys. Oh, shit, man. That's funny. He said Michael. The 16th of September, Dragon Lake. 16th of September, my friend. No, he wouldn't get credit. That's why Bud Crawford told Spence he wouldn't fight him on his return. Yeah, well, Bud's smart, but Bud would have gotten minimal credit for that. But I agree with what Bud did because these are considered the two best. So he wants Spence at his best, or at least to know that he had his best before he get in there with him. Or it doesn't. With Bud, it wasn't about credit from the fans. It was about what he wanted. He wanted to know he was fighting the best Spence, and I give nothing but total respect to Bud for that. So, and he won't get credit from Spence fans. Hang that up, bro. He's not if he gets knocked out. He'll get credit from reasonable people like us, and of course, Danny Garcia fans. But the Spence fans are not going to give him credit. Not the diehards anyway. I'm a Spence fan, but I'll give him credit. I'm not trying to be funny, but why does Errol Spence have? Oh, I'm way behind. I'm way behind. Let me see, y'all. I think his weight and see could affect him a lot, or we just don't know. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's just a huge question. It's just a huge question. But what we can't do is just assume that Danny Garcia is going to just demolish him. Listen, it is a lot of people out there, guys, that want Spence to fall. That's it. They don't want anything else but to see this dude go down. I don't take Bud Crawford saying that Spence as a duck. It shows me that Bud is just worried about his legacy, to Spence credit. Yeah, no, it's no duck. It wasn't no duck. And that fight wasn't, it couldn't have been a duck anyway, Joshua Little Don, because when Terrence Crawford said that, that fight was not even offered. Errol Spence and Al Heyman and them won't talk about fighting no fucking Crawford. It couldn't have been a duck because they ain't say nothing about fighting on the juice. Yeah, he could be. He could be right on those PEDs. Ain't no doubt. I said, yup, PEDs. Errol Spence boobs is all I heard once I get here. Yeah, y'all walked into that, huh? I heard medicine can get me in. Yeah, it's different reasons. It's not just, that's just a sign, a possible sign of PEDs. It's many different reasons. And that's what I was saying, man. So, that's just a sign. So we can't deny the fact that that could be a sign, but we can't use that sign to say, yeah, he's definitely on PEDs. You know what I mean, Scott Brown? So I mean, not Scott Brown, Dragon Lake. Scott Brown says Spence went to UK across the street to get a belt. What other PBC has done that besides Ruiz, who just got previous? Yeah, man. I mean, he's got, and he had to do that. He had to do that, Scott Brown, because at the time, Thurman and Porter and those fuckers didn't even want to fight him. So he had no choice but to go chase that belt. That's what Thurman said. Go get a belt, young man. Then we'll talk. But still never talk to him. Get out of here with that foolishness, man. Straight foolishness. My ex-boss has woman. Spence has almost 4-inch reach advantage on Danny. Spence gonna beat Danny Garcia up, man. Errol may have had implants. We need to ask Victor Conte on this. Yeah, man. Yup. Monte Carlo in the building. Sergio Aguero. He said, no wonder D has so much love for Spence. They got the same tits. Go on, Monte Carlo. The key. I'm going to. Okay, I don't know what that means. Cultural thing, Sakib. I don't know if you want to say that too much to Americans. I just tell you that. Is Spence a weight bully? I don't believe in weight bullies. Ness Mendoza. I ain't even going to climb in all of that. I don't believe anybody's a weight bully. Spence. So I just talked about that on the live the other day. I think the whole term of weight bullying is bullshit. So whatever. Maybe Earl had a sex change as a child. No, I wouldn't go that way with it, because then it would be from a woman to a man, and I think he would be getting his ass totally whipped if that was the case. So Spencer's gonna have titties like Tommy Moore said. Hell no. Oh boy, y'all crazy, man. The boxing Jedi in the building was good. He said, "Peace, D. I don't think he's on anything. He just had not Geo shit. That's all. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just say it was a possibility. I've never accused him of any. I don't really accuse any of these guys, Jedi, because I actually disagree with you, but not disagree with you on your point. I just disagree because I think 95% of all of these motherfuckers are taking, including my man Spence. So that's just where I'm at with it, man. You know what I mean? Mark said I'll be back waiting on dinner. Oh, eating the grub, huh? Spence will not do well at 154. Lubin, Charlo, or even Hurt. His size will the advantage will not be there. That's not necessarily true. Spence is draining himself to some extent, Scott Brown. It's too big for this weight class. So although he's making the weight, he's robbing himself of attributes that he can have by competing at a more comfortable weight, or that he doesn't have to drain down to. It means he can loosen up speed, power, stamina by not cutting down so much. So it's not necessarily true. We could actually see a stronger, more vibrant, faster Spence at 154. That could actually happen. And in this sense, if there is not a great deal of talent, and you're saying Charlo, one day you're saying Charlo, well, if you ask Jamel Charlo himself, he wouldn't agree with you there either. He says Spence is a dog. Jamel Charlo has even gone far enough to say Scott Brown that Spence was not better than him, but on his level, if not better than him. So they spar all the time too. You do also Scott Brown Spence spars light heavyweights. And remember, he's draining himself to compete at 147 to a certain extent. He's making the weight, but he's still draining down some. Gotta understand that. So may loosen up things that he's robbing himself of by moving to 154. We're just gonna have to see. All right, let me see what we got. Sakib said, I watched Tenet last night, and as a tech nerd, that film blew my brain on. I haven't seen that. Says Spence reach advantage goes bye-bye at 154. Yeah. Well, I can agree with that. Fuck, Jamel Charlo's at 73 inches. So no more reach advantage there, that's for sure. But reach advantage is not everything. Laura was under advantaged all the time at 154. All right. I mean, certain skills and things you can do to get you around reach advantage. Jose Ramirez didn't have the reach advantage on Mo Hooker, right, Scott Brown? Mo Hooker was over 80 inches. How the reach advantage server? Advantage is only one facet of music for Ash. On lunch though? All right. Errol's a very aggressive. He's a southpaw. He's quite long and likes to fight on the inside. He can move decently laterally and has a solid jab. He's a strong fighter. He won't be easy for anyone to beat. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. And all of this dumb shit about Danny Garcia, who has not won any of the major fights he's fought at 147. Spence beat one of the guys he lost to. He stepped up, major fight, lost to. Spence has already beaten that guy. So now all of a sudden, Danny Garcia is going to get in that step-up fight and all of a sudden show up. And it's only because of a question about Errol Spence's chin. Well, as I said earlier, while Danny Garcia is walking into the ring, demolishing Spence, yes, his chin might be shaky, but what about all of this stuff? What is Spence going to just be fucking standing there? Like, come on, man. Let's think. Let's think a little bit with this before we just cast judgment on how this fight's going to go. So in a sense, Spence is getting the same heat that Tank Davis is getting right now. No, because Tank Davis ain't doing shit, fam. And Spence is not fighting guys moving up from weight. Mikey Garcia ran behind Spence like a fucking chihuahua. Spence turned down that fight 4 times because he had other stuff going on and he was too busy wanting to fight Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter. He was not interested in fighting Mikey Garcia. He said that time and time again. He had no interest in that fight. But Mikey Garcia kept running off. I see something in Spence. I can beat Spence. I can do the impossible. Like a fucking chihuahua. He kept running his mouth. So then Spence had to satisfy his mandatory with Carlos Alcampo. Right? So did he go to do that? Well, still, Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman. Nobody wants to step up to the plate. He already done beat Kell Brook up. He's got this IBF belt. So here comes Mikey Garcia still barking. I can beat Spence. I see something in Spence. So Spence is like, well, fuck it. I'll fight this little guy. It's going to be worth more or just as much money as fighting these guys that won't fight me, that's ducking me like they're ducking Crawford. This was the situation. So he fights Mikey Garcia. And then what happens? He gets slammed for fighting Mikey Garcia. Even though none of these fuckers wanted to step up. So the same shit they giving Crawford a pass for, Spence went through that same shit. The same exact shit. Right? That's what's going on, Little John. So it's nothing like Tank Davis, because Tank Davis was comfortable with fighting guys moving up in weight, fighting for vacant belts, losing them on the scale. Spence has never had a problem on the scale, not one single fight. All of the fans and the fucking haters complain about Spence blowing up in weight. He's in this, he's doing this, and he never had a problem on the scale. Not one fucking problem. Shawn Porter had a problem on the scale. Mikey had a problem on the scale. Spence has not had a problem on the scale. Tank Davis had major problems on the scale. Spence has not had one single problem on the scale. So it's not even remotely close to a Tank Davis situation. Nothing alike, bro. Tank Davis is a disappointment and a letdown to boxing. That's who Tank is. Jedi, you can create the link to, not precisely. No way, no sir. Now, anybody can click that link. I'm not having the fallacies against my boy Spence. For the love of sports, let me put it in the link again. Let's talk about it. Because no, it's not precisely. It's nothing like the Tank Davis situation. Not even remotely close. And if you think so, come break it down for me. Because that's the bullshit. And any other bullshit that I'm going to dispute, debunk, and totally trash today when it comes to Errol Spence. I will not start hearing these type of fallacies when it comes to Errol Spence. And Brian Harkin, if you're still listening in, this is the type of bullshit, Brian Harkin, that I'm talking about when it comes to Errol Spence. Now, Joshua, I'm not talking about you, fam, because you already said you didn't know about the whole situation and you're trying to catch up to speed and put everything together. So I ain't talking about you right now when I'm saying these bullshit narratives. But this is bullshit that people say. And Jedi does know what's going on. Jedi's in the mix with this. So for him to say precisely, that's the type of bullshit I'm talking about. Because precisely not. It ain't shit like the Tank Davis situation. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Hey, my bad, D.
No, you're good. Like I said, you're good, fam. You just asked to catch you up to speed. So you good. You just put some stuff together. I ain't got no issues with you. Jedi, you should know better. That's bullshit.
Right.
That's straight bullshit. And come up here and explain to me how it's not bullshit. We can talk about it, dog. You're always welcome on this panel. But I'm not having that kind of fallacies. I got today. No, sir. You asked the question. So that's it. He ain't asked no question. He agreed to that bullshit.
Nah, D. When I was making the comment about the Tank Davis thing, is in my mind, when you back earlier in the video, you said that when he fought Kell Brook for the belt,
right, and
they don't give him credit for it,
right.
I was comparing that to when Tank Davis fought Gamboa. And that's where I made that comment myself.
Yeah, but I don't give him credit for. I don't give. See, look, here's the thing. Fuck no, Gamboa don't get a tenth of the credit for fighting Gamboa that Spence gets for fighting Brook. First and foremost, Spence was fighting for an IBF world title, a real title. Tank was fighting for some bullshit gangly ass belt, bro, a trinket. That's not the real title that he was fighting for. Then Spence was fighting a Kell Brook that people were crying about was broken from GGG. But he won't no 40-year-old Kell Brook, chinny Kell Brook on his fucking way out the door. That's who Tank fought also, right? Then here's the third thing. That little fat motherfucker had problem making weight in that fight after moving up from 135.
Yeah,
and again,
you right.
Spence stepped on the scale, ripped the fuck up, and ready to go. So that comparison don't even count, bro. Gamboa should have stopped. I mean, Tank should have stopped that motherfucker in like 5 rounds. He's chinny, dog. He's meant to be knocked out. That motherfucker should have went 12 rounds with him, and then after he lost his fucking Achilles ankle sprain or whatever it was, he really should have stopped him. But that was the 3rd round, which means it took him 8 more rounds to get the job done. On a one-leg, chinny 40-year-old Gamboa for a trinket belt. Fuck no, it ain't the same. Not even close. You feel me?
I feel you.
Again, bro, I call it straight down the line, but when it comes to my guys, I ain't let none of that bullshit. None of that bullshit go.
Yeah, I was the one. I was the one that made that comparison, though.
Yeah. Nah, you good though. You good, fam, because you pay attention to the bigger weight guys, and you just starting to get into this. Cats like Jedi, he already know, man. He be right in the ground with us. He know probably more about the smaller guys than I fucking know about the smaller guys. So he know better than that bullshit. Ain't no precisely. Hell no. Tank Davis and fucking Errol Spence are on 2 different goddamn planets. Ain't nothing to say about these motherfuckers. No. Spence is a unified champion. When the fuck has Tank Davis ever become a unified champion?
You got me there.
That right there alone slams Tank Davis. He's a fucking unified champion right now. Tank ain't even fuck. Tank, here's another thing. Shawn Porter, we can honestly say, especially after the fight, since some people thought Shawn Porter won that fight. We can honestly say this when we talk about Spence and Tank Davis. Spence has fought someone on his level that could have beaten him. Tank ain't even never stepped up to that fucking challenge. They ain't put him in a fight yet with somebody that we think can actually beat him. Not one fight. Have Ellaby and fucking Floyd put him in where the fans were like, oh, they will Tank could actually lose this one. Fuck no, we already knew that. I told him every fucking fight he ever stepped in, we knew what the fucking outcome was. This motherfucker's getting ready to beat this guy up. We knew it.
Yeah.
There was never any suspense in Tank's fights. Ever. Going into this Spence fight, it was people saying, yeah, Spence gonna lose now. Then after the Spence fight, people say, no, Spence, they robbed Porter. But at least that was a fight that was, to my recollection, competitive. Tank ain't never fucking stepped in a fight that I thought he would lose since he's been fucking boxing, fam. Not one goddamn time. What's up, Mark?
Oh, what's a poppin'?
Yeah, I'm ranting. I'm going in now. I'm going in. I'm going in about Spence. Well, hold on. Jedi said Errol is more accurate. He will land at will. Oh, he talked about something else. Boxing Monster in the building. What's good, Boxing Monster? Man Grow in the building. What's good? He got big cities. Speak your mind. I think that was supposed to be a T. Big titties.
No, I think he meant cities on purpose, man.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he got cities on his chest.
Oh, okay. Monte Carlo said, before the Mikey fight, I would favor Spence, but after the the Porter fight, especially when he said he felt Porter's punches, I'm leaning toward Garcia. Not even. I ain't leaning toward Garcia at no level on this fight, Monte Carlo. If you're leaning toward Garcia, Monte Carlo, just put it in the comment or click the link and tell us why. I want to know, like, for all of these people that's thinking fucking Danny Garcia is going to beat Errol Spence, break it down to me. Break it down to me so I can fucking debunk that shit. Boxing Monster, what's good? Trap FDY. Me, I want to see Spence go down. Trap can get away with that. What's up, Trap? Yeah. I like consistency, Trap. So you can get away with that because I can appreciate consistency, my brother. I like both Crawford and Spence, 2 of the best welterweights right now. Agreed. Charlo soft up that Lubin chin. That's what I'm talking about. He could have, because Lubin had a decent chin, he could have cracked that chin. That chin could have been cracked early because he sure did sleep, that young fellow.
Well, Lubin's chin hadn't really been tested yet at that point, though, or he hadn't fought.
That's true too. And
that chin could just be soft. That could be, like, did Brady's Prescott crack Amir Khan's chin, or was it already soft? You know what I mean? Right. It was already soft.
But here's a flip side to that too, and I agree with Mark. That chin could already be soft, but one thing that I think is sufficient enough is that Jermell Charlo has power. So he just could have gotten caught by a boxer that has good power. He could still have a decent chin, but he just got caught by that boxer that has good
Yeah,
power.
Jamel Charlo's punching power is underrated because of like the knockouts, the amount of knockouts he's had, but he actually hits hard. A lot of the times,
Right.
like earlier in his career, he was boxing more than punching. So he does punch pretty hard.
Yeah. Joshua said, "B, given this will be my first Spence fight, I'm going to back him. Let you know I like style. Oh, good backing. Good backing, Joshua, because he gonna beat Danny Garcia like a fucking drum.
Joshua's on the paddle, bro.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was going down the damn chats. Jeff, what's good with your shout out from Richmond, baby? Hometown. That's my boy. That's my homeboy right there. Richmond. He's my homeboy, but not really my homeboy.
Where's CA? Where's CA, bro?
California. But just because you live in Richmond, damn, my homeboy. I'm from Richmond, VA. He from Richmond, CA. Yeah. All the way across the goddamn country.
Hey, D, I'm going to go ahead and smash off, bro. I'm going to get back to playing Mortal Kombat, my dude.
You know what? I got to get back on Speak Your Mind Sports Talk Games. You got the PlayStation 4?
Yes, sir.
You know, I was doing, I don't know if you were subscribed, but I was doing Game Time for a little bit. I got Mortal Kombat, NBA 2K, God of War, Zombies, Call of Duty. Spent fucking a few $100 and then I kind of let it go. But I get on there with you. I get on there.
All
right, dog.
All right.
So, Intangible, what's up, fam?
What's good?
What do you think, man? You come up here for the heat, or you come up here just to discuss something about Spence? Because if you come up here with the heat, and just come on and bring it.
Well, Spence is going to beat Danny Garcia by unanimous decision.
No heat. Yeah, well, that's good. I really want somebody to come up here with some fucking heat. You know what I mean? That's what I want. Mr. Two Hands in the building. Hold on. He said actually he had problems on the scale against Mikey Garcia. It took him 3 times to get right, but it ain't no tank though.
Well, what do you mean? Like, as in trying to start an argument, make a hot take, or what?
No. Because the title is about the haters coming out. My God, talking about Danny gonna definitely go in there and knock them out. I've heard Spence's finish. I don't know why Spence fans holding on and all this type of shit. So if somebody got some kind of heat, or just like, somebody just compare Spence to Tank Davis, and Jedi says precisely. Oh no. See, all of these type of fallacies, I'm not gonna let ride. And if you agree with some of these things, then for the love of sports, let's talk about it. So if you agree that Spence and what's been going on with him is comparable to Tank Davis, let's fucking talk about it. Because I don't think it is at all. I think it's night and day.
I don't really understand why people dislike Spence. I mean, I understand maybe not favoring his skill set, but as a fighter, he's very good. I mean, he fights generally very good opposition. He's fought 5 world champions in his career. He just unified the division, proving himself as the top guy.
Right.
And, I mean, he's done what he's needed to do. He's fought mandatories. Maybe you want to say his activity should have increased or the Mikey fight shouldn't have happened, but, I mean, in totality, he's doing what he needs to do. And he's fighting Danny next. He's fighting good opposition.
Right.
So I don't understand why people dislike him.
So, and I'm glad you just brought that up too. And first, Boxing Monster always knows how to get me started. He just like to get me started. So I will oblige, Boxing Monster. I will oblige. And yes, the fuck I did say that. Mosquito bites. He's talking about when I first arrived at the UDC, because we all used to be at that platform, chopping it up. And I was specifically talking about Arislandi Lara. And I said back then, I don't want to hear shit about Spence going to 154 and Arislandi Lara giving Spence problems punching him because Spence defense wasn't all of that. Because at the time, this is what they were saying. He'll run up there to 154 and get in there with somebody like Eris Landy Lara. And then all of that, I said, Eris Landy Lara punches will be like mosquito bites to Spence. He'll walk through them and beat his ass too, is what I said. Now, with that logic, boxing monster, since you want to get me started, did we not just see Eris Landy Lara go fucking 12 rounds with a fucking, what was it, David Vendetti or whatever the fuck his name was?
Greg Vendetti.
Greg Vendetti, who has already been stopped by someone of much lesser punch power than Spence. And Eris Landy Lara just took this guy 12 rounds. So, Boxing Monster, I will reiterate what I said back then. He'll get in the ring with that motherfucker and his punches will be like mosquito bites. I will reiterate that, Boxing Monster, since you want to bring it back up.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with that, come get that work.
I would agree that Spence would beat Lara, but I still think Lara does have a little bit in the tank left. I feel like he's a guy who doesn't really expend himself and really take a lot of damage in his fights. And he tends to fight at a sort of a slower pace.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, that's not to say that Spence would lose to him. I think Spence would beat him. Lara's not going to get his respect. And I think Lara is past his prime, but not shot.
All right. Yeah, I didn't say Lara was shy or any of that shit, but you just cleared up what I was saying. Lara's not going to get his respect. That was my metaphor about the mosquito bites. He's not going to get Spence's respect, fam, at all. And that's exactly what I meant when I said that shit. And I still mean it today. and obviously Intangible agrees with me. So Boxing Monster, as usual, stop it. Cut it out. Cut it out. Now, grown man boxing. You know, I like grown man boxing. Because grown man boxing every now and then, he's a supporter of Speak Your Mind Sports Talk, but he's not an all-the-time loyal supporter. He's not here all the time. And it's because you're not here all the time, you write a comment like this. Grown man boxing. So grown man boxing says, I never thought I'd see the day that Speak Your Mind Sports rooting for a black fighter or a PBC fighter at that. I'm going to have to check your temperature to see if you're well. Here's the thing. If you ain't seen that day, you ain't been around enough days. It's just that simple. Motherfucker, I have been a Spence fan. And everybody who's a loyal supporter here already knows this. I have been a Spence fan. I have rooted for Spence in every single fight he's partaken in, my friend. Also, where the hell have you been about Jamel Charlo, who is our second PBC fighter, who I am a fan of? Where you been, grown man boxing? You must have been in the Twilight Zone somewhere to write a comment like this. Because if you ain't seen it or heard it, then you just ain't been listening, fam. Do you see the color of my skin? What the fuck would I discriminate against black fighters for? It just don't make no sense. Oh, boy. You guys, man. Unknown Solution. What's good? Jedi must be gone. He must be. He said that old crazy shit and dipped out. But to be honest, Shawn Porter wasn't on the level until he showed everyone that he was. Nobody had faith in Shawn, to be honest. I did. But Shawn wasn't considered a dog for Spence. Well, here's the thing, Mr. Two Hands. I actually agree that Shawn Porter wasn't considered on the level. But that's why I always say, fuck what these idiots think. And fuck these fucking narratives from these idiots. That's what I'm doing right now. Debunking these stupid narratives. Tank's on the same level with Spence and is comparable and all of that dumb shit, Mr. Two Hands. And my thing is this. Shawn Porter was on the level of Spence. It was the idiots that didn't realize it. But he was most certainly on the level of Spence. It was the idiots that didn't give Shawn Porter the credit for being at that level. And that's why I don't even go with what these idiots say. I don't get mad at it, but I don't go along with it either. And I don't base my thoughts and my opinions on shit the idiots say. Because, yeah, these idiots were saying that he wasn't on his level. Yeah, they were. They sure were. But just like you said, you didn't consider it that way, Mr. Chance. And I don't think anybody with sense in their fucking head considered it that way. Because even me, as a true Spence fan in the fashion that I do before the fight. And anybody that don't believe it, especially you grown man boxing, you can go back to the live. And I said, for all of you that think Spence is going to go in there and knock Shawn Porter out, you idiots. See, that was the mindset that I had before the fight. And I have receipts because I called all of these people you're talking about, Mr. Two-Hand, complete idiots before the fight. So I agree with you. Yeah, it was a lot of idiots out there that didn't have Shawn Porter on that level. But of course, they were idiots. And that's what the problem was. It was the idiots. So get this smoke in the building. Pedraza was supposed to be thanked. No, not to me. He wasn't smoke. And again, it just goes back to just like the comment just before that one, smoke. It was the idiots that thought these things smoke. So if you want to align yourself with the idiotic narratives that comes from the idiots, then you'll get these things. But I don't align myself with the idiotic narratives that comes from the idiots, I think, as a boxing fan. So, yeah, smoke. Pedraza was supposed to be was thought so by some idiots, but I didn't think so. Not at all, smoke. So, I mean, you know. Spence, yeah, I agree with that. You're going to beat that ass. You're going to beat him. Beat him. Let me slide down. They are, Toby, wishing the same. Oh, okay. I don't know what that's about. Well, okay. Let me see. Same people that can't bring themselves to like a PBC fighter, especially a marquee one. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Those were the idiots that were talking. And then the PBC fanboys also was talking that dumb shit on the opposite side too, Smoke. Let's not just throw fire and heat on one side. Because it was the idiots were the ones, the PBC idiots, the PBC lovers were the one talking about Spence is going to go in there and knock Shawn Porter out, Smoke. So it was idiots on both sides. And I don't want to let your PBC compadres off the hook because I know that those are your amigos. But it was a lot of idiots over there on that side, Smoke. You may not have been one of them. But if you didn't hear the bullshit, you won't listen, fam. Lara probably put big money on him winning by decision. Because the odds were good. Yeah. Joshua said there's a lot to like about Spence. I think the hate probably comes from people that either bash him for being a PBC fighter. One, that's true, which is dumb, or the hate comes from somewhere else. Two, him being the best. One is the PBC factor. Two is him being the best, or at least one of the best. And the facts are, all of them get that hate. Crawford, Loma, Canelo, Joshua. Doesn't matter. Monster knew he's getting it. Alexander Usyk. When you're one of the best guys, you're gonna get the hate in sports. That's how it goes. I'm gonna give Spence a chance as long as he doesn't start acting like Broner. No, he'll never act like that. But Spence has done some bullshit, Joshua. So just tread lightly. Because he is still under the PBC banner. So you're gonna see some bullshit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not blocked, but I left before you did. I saw he was too full of himself. Well, you must be talking to somebody else, Smoke. I can understand Spence being the favorite pre-accident, but I got Danny, especially first fight post-accident. I'm expecting a stoppage. Don't think Spence will be the same. Yeah, I ain't betting my money on that. I wouldn't bet my money on that. Depending on what the odds are. I don't know. I'm going to tell you the truth, guys. Gambling and rooting for somebody, or like the prediction league. I have a lot of gambling picks that is totally opposite of what I put in that prediction league. I'll tell you guys that right now. So this comment from Trav D. And like I said, whatever Trav D says about Spence, I have no problem with Trav D because Trav D is consistent. And you can't argue with consistency, right? It's like I was trying to tell someone the other day, I was talking to them and we were talking about why I'm giving Terrence Crawford heat versus why everyone else is giving Terrence Crawford heat. Well, I'm not giving Terrence Crawford heat for a lot of these other reasons. The same reason I give Canelo Alvarez heat and Errol Spence heat is because as a fighter, they said, I am going to clean out a division. As a fighter. Canelo said it about 160, and I give him heat all the time. You need to clean out 160. Spence, I give him heat. Crawford said he's the man. He's going to come up here and clean out the division. You can't do it by not moving toward fighting the best and fighting the guys with the belts. Okay? If you're the best, you're the boogeyman, you're on the #1 pound for pound list. I don't want to see any more fucking fights with Amir Khan's, Jose Benavidez, Kelly Velasquez's, or less, or equivalent. Because at this point in his career, Brook is probably equivalent to those guys. Nothing better. It doesn't prove anything. Keith Thurman is not. He's ahead of those guys. Shawn Porter is not. He's ahead of those guys. Ugas is not. He's ahead of those guys. Pacquiao, of course, is not. He's ahead of those guys. So out of those 4 names, you got to make one of those fights. Ugas is tied up. Pacquiao is in limbo. Danny Garcia and Spence are tied up. Thurman is open, and Porter is open. So Thurman is open and Porter is open. I really personally don't want to hear a goddamn thing about a broken down Kell Brook that's on his way out the door. I feel the same about that fight for Crawford as I felt about Tank Davis fighting Gamboa. It's a worthless fucking fight. And I don't care what anyone say. They tried to sit up here and give Tank Davis credit for Gamboa. And I gave him minimal credit. And that is the same credit that I give Crawford for Brook. Minimal credit. Because all of these idiots, and I'm going back to the idiots, if they want to give Crawford respect for this fight. Now, if you're an idiot that want to give Crawford respect for this fight, concerning the fact that you gave Spence massive heat when he fought him, he was broken down from GGG, he was drained down from GGG. Well, Brook is nothing near that fighter that Spence fought after the GGG fight or not. Brook's way past that. So how the fuck could you rob Spence of any credit, but then give it to Crawford for an even broken down fight? You idiots. You see? That's where I'm at. You're all idiots if you're doing that. Because Spence didn't get the credit for it. This is a further along Brook, who's looked terrible since. He doesn't look better since. He doesn't look revived since. He doesn't look like he's going uphill since. He's been downhill. It's been a downhill decline. And even after that fight, Spence got minimal credit. Now we're supposed to give Bud maximum credit for an even more depleted fighter? You got me fucked up with that, bro. Those are the double standards and the dumb shit that I'm talking about. And once again, if you don't like it or you don't agree with it, click the goddamn link and come speak your mind. Because I ain't going to have the Spence fallacies today at all. I'm up here to dispel and debunk and dismiss all of the fallacies. Smoke message me on Hangouts. Smoke hit Mark up on Hangouts. Smoke, you got to take that test and stop fucking around, son. My man Saint Britt in the building, GTS, you mean like the LDBC who only like the PBC. Oh, Saint Britt. This is GTS. I know what you mean. I've emailed him loads of times for the explanation. Never had one reply yet. Yeah. What if Spencer 75%? He still got a shot to beat Danny Garcia. But that makes it a close fight if he's 75%. That's what I think, Iceman. If Danny Garcia can't beat off that accident, he needs to retire. Trav, you're saying beat off that accident, but you're on assumption based only here. Let's not act like the accident did not cause him the damage that you're assuming it caused him. You don't know that, Trav DY, and I don't know that. That's why I'm not sitting up here saying Danny can't win. I'm not going to sit there and say that. I'm saying that Spence going to beat his ass like a drum, but he could still get knocked out. He could. That wouldn't mean that Spence won't beat his ass like a drum. That would have meant Spence was beating his ass like a drum until he got knocked out. But then if he gets knocked out, Danny will win the fight. So I'm not sitting up here acting ignorant like Danny can't win the fight, because I've always said I have to see how that chin holds up. We just don't know about the chin, right? But here's the thing. If the chin does hold up, everything that you're hanging your hat on, Trav DY, it don't apply. What's going on? What's up, bro? Everything that you hanging your hat on, Tribe FDY. If that's not the case, you lose all your money and the shit just don't apply. You're basically hoping, because if you could give me any other reason besides that chin, you're basically hoping Spence's chin is no good. That's basically what you're basing this fight on. The question of if his chin is good. That's it. I'm not gonna base the fight on that for nobody. Because there's a good chance his chin is good. Here's another thing we got to think about, Tribe FDY. Boxers have said it. People that are in DT3, he's a fighter. He said it. You're going to find out a lot that you need to know when he gets into sparring. Errol Spence spars big guys. And Errol Spence has already said, Tribe FDY, and I know you do a lot of research too. He's not going to change his sparring regimen. So they're going to find out real soon if that jaw can hold up before they ever get into the fight with Danny Garcia. So you better be sure, or you better feel somewhat reserved about that decision, because if they still gung-ho and they still feel like Spence is going to beat the hell out of Danny Garcia, that could be because they pretty comfortable with the fact that his chin is not gone. And Tribe FDY, I'm sorry to tell you, without Spence's chin being gone, I need you to explain to me how Danny wins that fight. Because the only way I see Danny winning that fight is knocking Spence out. And the only way I see him knocking Spence out is if Spence's chin is gone, Tribe FDY. And I ain't putting my money or hanging my hat on that, fam. Not at all. It would be a career defining if Danny could pull off this. I don't think it will be career defining, Chopstick. Because there's always going to be that element of the accident. It's a sucky situation for Danny Garcia, but he's going to get credit, but he's not going to get maximum credit. So it ain't going to define his career, because that attribute will be there whether people want to like it or accept it or not. They would be like, yeah, well, he did beat Errol Spence, but he beat Errol Spence after coming off the car accident. Here's another thing, Chopstick. And I don't know if you're a Danny Garcia fan or if this is just a comment, but if JFL was up here, this fucking Danny Garcia fanboy, and for all the Danny Garcia fanboys, it's something that I want you guys to think about. This is after the car accident. So why didn't your cherry-picking ass fight Spence the first 5 years he was calling out you, Shawn Porter, and Keith Thurman? No, your cherry-picking soft ass wanted to wait until after he got into a fight with the fucking pavement before you decided to take a fight. So think about that, Chopstick, because this scary ass cherry picking dude sure did skip through those 5 years while Spence was calling him, Porter, and fucking Thurman out. And now all of a sudden after car accident, he's gun ho. Think about that, Chopstick. Think about that. PBC fanboys thought Porter was going to get washed by Spence. How you figure that? Oh, you must be talking to somebody in the crowd, because I know one PBC fanboy that makes you a fucking complete liar, get this smoke, and he has a fucking channel, and he knows his sports, did not think that Spence was gonna get washed by Porter. So how you figure that, smoke? Receipts, motherfucker. Go listen to every fucking one of his videos about goddamn Shawn Porter and Errol Spence, and then sit up here and try to prove that fucking bullshit statement you talking about. And more or less, Smoke, you're full of shit. Because I didn't hear none of these fucking fanboys talking about Porter was going to wash Spence. You full of shit with that, Smoke. And here you go with your PBC protection again. Now you click that link because you full of shit. Come explain that. Come give me some kind of receipts or anything about how all these fucking PBC fanboys thought Spence was going to get washed by Porter. You full of shit. No, the hell they didn't. No, that wasn't the narrative. And I ain't see no fucking videos out like that coming from the LDBC or any PBC fanboy. Because the ones that I know, Monty Brown TV, he knows his sports, Tom Ross, all had the same message, and they want nothing like that bullshit you talk about, Smoke. So go ahead and cancel that. That's a bullshit narrative, and I'm shutting those down today, buddy. Cut it out. Cut it out. Nope. Iceman said this is a lose-lose fight for Danny. It is. It is. I agree with that. Brooke is washed up bum. It's a shit fight. Facts, man, Solo. Facts. And I wouldn't call him a bum, but he's damn sure washed up. He's washed up, bro. He's much less than the Brook that fought Spence. So how can we give Crawford but so much credit for that? Kell Brook is much less than the Brook that fought Spence. And for all of you haters, he's much, much less than the Brook that fought GGG. And if he was broken down during that fight, then all of you haters should just shut the hell up and definitely shouldn't give him any kind of credit for it. How about that one? Swift is overrated and most likely will get stopped. I'm not sure about the getting stopped part. See, that's the shit I'm not going to go that far either, because when has Danny Garcia ever been stopped, Jeff? Also, Danny Garcia has proven to have a good chin on him. So I'm going to go as far as say that Spence will stop Danny. I ain't going on that. I'm not going that far. Spence my boy, but I'm not going down that road because I'm not actually confident in that myself. I see Spence winning in a decision. I think he can get the stop. Never seen Danny punished to the body yet. So I think it's possible Spence can get the stop, but I wouldn't bet on it. And I wouldn't call it either. Thurman is broken down somewhat. Thurman's not, he's not himself. I call him now, yes, sir. Keith once upon a time Thurman. You know what I mean? Because he ain't the Keith Thurman he used to be. Joshua says, D, I wouldn't mind seeing Thurman go at it again. I got somebody doing some work. I wouldn't mind seeing Porter and Thurman go at it again. May need to have a tune-up to get the rust off first. Yeah, I think the rematch Porter wins, to be honest. I think that Thurman that fought Porter, since that Thurman-Porter fight, Porter has maintained and actually gotten a little better. I would say probably a little stronger. Thurman hasn't. He's gotten weaker and he's gone down. He's lost a step or two. And it was a really close, tumultuous fight. Porter's still himself and maybe a little better. Thurman's a shell of himself from that fight. So I can't see the rematch being as competitive. I see Porter winning that rematch. Like I see Danny Garcia and Thurman rematch as interesting, Joshua. Because I think Danny Garcia has lost some since he was the. I don't think that he's the Danny Garcia that fought the Porter and the Thurman. That's the thing about Danny Garcia. I don't think he's that guy. You know what I mean? So I think that would be more of an interesting fight, the rematch between those two, because they also had a close fight as well. I think that fight would be more interesting. That's a pick'em fight to me. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman rematch. Still don't know how he survived that wreck. Looked like a fatality for sure. Yeah, man, it's a blessing. Miracles. Guy that jumped 5,800 feet. Jeff, skydiving accident. 5,800 feet. 5,800-foot jump. Parachute didn't open. The emergency parachute opened, slowed him briefly. And when I say briefly, they was just like, it was, watch the video, it was literally like seconds. So it slowed him for about 4 seconds, three or 4 seconds, and then that one failed. And he went plummeting to the ground from 5,800 feet up. Fractured 3 bones in his fibula, and he broke an arm. And that was all the damage that was done to him, Jeff. I can guarantee you this, Jeff. There's a lot of impact hitting the ground being tossed from a car. There's a hell of a lot of impact free falling from 5,800 feet. Miracles happen, man. That's what people got to understand. Miracles happen. Trav FDY. Coming back. Miracles happen. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to say about that. Things happen. It can't be explained. Science can't explain it. The doctors can't explain it, but things sure do happen. Spence should be fighting at 160. No, 154. Jumping to 160 would be a mistake. He's got to at least acclimate first, but he should be at a higher weight class, that's for sure. Yeah, I think Kell Brook did look good in his last fight. He might have a good couple of fights left. Yeah, but not at 147. I don't think, he still got some fight in him at a higher weight, but he would drain down too much. Brook was already big, Joshua, when he used to compete at 147. Now he had problems getting back down to weight when he fought Spence a long time ago. But now that he's comfortable fighting at this higher weight, we're talking about him draining back down to 147, and he's older. He's no spring chicken no more. It's dangerous. That's what makes it dangerous, because he's going to drain back down. The accident can affect more than his chin. Yes, it can. It can, Trav. I'm not disagreeing with that. But do we know the effects? Trav, these are hypotheticals you're giving. From the reports we've been from Spence, from the way this dude looks physically. I don't know if you've seen him lately. Looked at him working out and stuff. So from the reports we're getting, from the way the dude looks physically, Trav, I hear what you're saying, bro, but it's goddamn ants, fucking flies and shit. I hear what you're saying, but his team and the reports are not saying to us, Trav, that he's affected. They're saying that he's not. They're telling you it's a miracle. They can't believe it. They can't explain it, but he is not affected. Now, we will find some things out when they fight. But again, you find a lot of things out in sparring, Trav. And other fighters have said this, like fighters that we have, they come here, they said this is true. These questions that you ask him, Trav, they're going to find a lot of that out in sparring. These other things outside of the chin, you find out in rough sparring, Trav, FBY. And I guess you're not applying any of that logic when you just, again, it's just like you just got it set in your mind that you're going to lose. That's fine, but that just may not be the case. What's up, bro? Good.
I got the door handle busted. That's what the problem was.
The arm. Oh, y'all hold on right quick. Put all little pieces.
Okay. I'm the captain now. Do you need to put yourself on mute? Let it play a play. You know what I'm saying? Trav, stop hating. I know you've been hating on Spence since the puffy nipples gate. You've been looking at my man's nipples. You've been praying for his downfall since you first heard of the dude. Stop hating. Spence is gonna beat the hell out of Danny Garcia. You know it.
Yeah.
I'll be gone next month. Okay, you have to set that.
Go ahead, Smoke. Hold it down for a second.
Yeah, but I'm trying to, but you're awfully loud in the background there, bro. Can you mute your mic? All right. At least he walked away. Unfortunately, I can't actually see the chat and talk to you guys at the same time. So let me see. Brooke is an overrated bum, and he was piecing up Spence before he got injured. There's a lot in there. You're gonna have to describe what you describe. Why Brooke is a bum. I don't think Brooke was a bum at all. That's like saying Brooke was piecing up Triple G before he got his eye broke. I mean, not really relevant. They were piecing each other up, right? Brooke did well. I think he won rounds, but I don't think he was dominating Spence in any of those rounds. I think they were both beating the hell out of each other through that fight. And as the fight wore on, Spence started to distance himself. Brooke had a couple of moments, later on in the fight, but pretty much, yeah, he just got broke down and beat up in front of his hometown, and his other eye broken. Like, whatever. I don't know who overrated him or what made him a bum, but that's cool. I thought the Porter fight was a little bit more of a wrestling match, and probably could have been scored. Could have been scored differently, but I'm not mad at the Porter win. And Porter certainly not beating bums. Porter certainly not been beaten by a bum. That hasn't happened in Porter's career. Yeah, let me see. Outside of it, yeah, I am, since I'm the resident, I'm the guy who's never wavered from Spence beating everybody at 147 right now. Let me just say, just piggyback off of what D was saying, is that, yeah, there's questions, but those are questions. I don't know. It seems like instead of people having questions, they've just jumped to conclusions that, yes, he's been in an accident and therefore his chin is dog shit, and therefore Spence is going to lose the fight. And if Spence doesn't lose the fight, that means Danny Garcia is garbage. And I don't think, right. And I think you're jumping to a conclusions, making assumptions, and then creating an unfair standard for Danny Garcia. Yeah, but hey, this goes a lot differently when I can see the chat. So if I get disconnected and trying to go back and forth, then that's what it is, and just be dead time. I don't know. Should I try? I'll try. Fuck it. Nah, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. All right. So, for to come back, I guess I'll give you guys just a series of questions maybe you can answer, whoever it is that has Danny Garcia winning this fight, right? When's the last time you saw Danny Garcia versus Bam Bam Rios? Watch that fight, and what makes you what are the adjustments that Danny makes from that fight, the performance he put in that fight, that would have him beat Errol Spence, assuming Errol Spence punch resistance isn't severely degraded. Then another Danny Garcia question is, who do you think is the hungrier fighter out of Danny Garcia and Errol Spence? And then lastly, I heard someone saying that Errol should go up to 154. I think Errol could go up to 154, but why shouldn't Errol stay at 147, get a bunch of paydays, and vie for undisputed at welterweight? But like, what about moving up to 154? Is it more attractive than that?
Sorry about that, guys. I got some people working on my house. Thank you, Smoke. I ain't even hear the bullshit Smoke was talking about. Well, I know you was up here with some tomfoolery, Smoke. Now, what are you talking about, Smoke? Because I ain't gonna let that shit ride. What are you talking about? PVC fanboys were talking about Spence was going to get washed. I didn't hear none of them saying that.
No, you asked a question. You asked a question about who is equating or comparing Tank to Spence, and I was like, people who can't figure out how to say a positive thing about PBC, especially their marquee fighters, right? It was about Spence and Tank, right?
I agree with that. Idiots. Like I do agree with that, because those people are what, Smoke? Idiots. You idiots.
Well, I'm gonna let you characterize them your way.
Well, that's my characterization for you. You idiot.
I would definitely say that I find some of their comments idiotic, and it seems and it seems like the inspiration of their idiotic comments is an inability to say anything positive about PBC or their marquee fighters.
Yo, see, there's the thing, Trav. There's no illusion that he's gonna be exactly the same, but the extent of the damage, that's what you put your hat on. What's up, France? France, I'm too, my man. Again, nobody is assuming he's going to be the same. We've had this discussion over and over again. We think that there's a chance he will be extremely affected by this accident. It's just we don't know, is what I'm telling you. Now, hold on, folks. So don't be delusional, Trav FDY, that it's also a death sentence. His boxing career. Because that's where you kind of lean into that side, like it's a death sentence. His boxing career is over with because he hit the pavement. He can't go that way either, Trav. Go ahead, Smoke. Yeah,
it could be. It could just mean that he would never make it to 160, right? Or it would be not as good. Like, you just don't know what the effects of the accident are. Not that there's zero effects, or he's going to experience the maximum effects in his next fight.
Right. IBT, what's up with you, dog?
Yo, how you guys doing? What's up?
What up?
Man, just talking shit about these haters. Talk about my boy Spence, man. Talking all of this foolery. Not Trav, though. Like I said, with Trav, I ain't talking about Trav, because Trav FDY, ever since I met him, he's been consistent with Spence. And if you're consistent with Spence, and here goes something else about Trav. when he come and say what he has to say about Spence, I've always noticed Trav come with receipts, paperwork, validation for why he thinks what he thinks. Even when he said what he said about the PEDs and stuff, I was actually thinking what Trav was saying when he came with that. So Trav don't come from the land of hate. So I can accept what Trav FDY say. I don't accept what idiots and haters say. And Trav FDY ain't no hater and he ain't no damn idiot. So I got respect for what Trav say. But the rest of you fuckers, you idiots. What's up, man? RBT.
Yeah, Trav be hating, man. You tripping. Trav be out there hating on Spence like a mug.
Oh, man. Trav, my
Yeah.
bad, dog.
Puffy nipples. That means he's taking neocream and he's getting injections up in that ass. Yeah, he be out there hating his ass
But look,
off.
see,
Get out of here.
that's the shit I'm talking about, though, right there. Because, see, me and Trav, I remember when Trav came with them, but Trav bought a whole lot of, I don't think you were there. Trav explained a whole lot of shit. We was on the UGC. He bought receipts. He validated it with information that validates what he was saying about the puffy nipples. He wasn't just one of these people running around talking about the puffy nipples because of what he heard.
Okay, was he validating the fact that people just have puffy nipples? Or was it all of a sudden because he has puffy nipples, he now needs to say go type of stuff?
Slow down. He validated his opinion, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I didn't say that his opinion. Hold on, Smoke. Let me finish. I didn't say that he was correct or I agree with it. I'm just saying the opinion that he came with and the validation he gave for it made it reasonable. It made it a reasonable claim. Some people come with claims, but they don't have anything to back their claim up. And so all I'm telling you, Smoke, is at least Trav came with something to back his claim up. And I can't argue with people.
I mean, if you said he came with backing, then I can understand that you can't say backing. But if you said the backing was reasonable, then we have a difference, right?
Because I don't agree with this shit. So I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say that just because, okay, it makes sense. That don't fucking mean I gotta agree with it.
I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm not even gonna go into it. That's cool. All I'm saying, for me, I got Spence winning this, and Trav could be totally be right. Trav could be right though, but Trav could be accurate. The punch resistance is gone, and it was due to the accident, and therefore Garcia wins. That would mean that Danny Garcia, this wouldn't be a signature win for Danny Garcia if that actually happened. If we saw that all of a sudden dude had no punch resistance and we inferred it was from the accident, then no, that's not going to be a signature win. It's going to be just like it's going to be just like the Eric Morales, where he's a Hall of Famer, but you're going to bring up how past his prime he was.
Hold on, IBT,
now...
hold on, IBT, hold on right quick, because I just got a feeling where you get ready to come from. But I just want to say this before you come with the thought that I think you might be coming with. I just want to say this one statement. Because no matter of fact, go ahead and make your statement.
No, D, go.
I'll save it.
No, you wanted to stop me. I've been waiting. I've been very patient.
All right, I'll say this then. We hear a whole lot about Canelo, Floyd Mayweather, and all of these things and these particular fights. Aging Manny out, Canelo picking Rocky Fielding because of this, that, and the third. And there's hashtags on them fights. So I don't want to hear shit about it not being a hashtag on this fight with Danny Garcia after we know Spence was in a detrimental accident. But go ahead,
Yeah, so I know there are asterisks and issues where people want to make up excuses because they're fanboys. But I'm not going to be going into this fight. If I'm going in this fight saying Spence is damaged goods, then that's going to be, he's going to have to prove me wrong. If I'm going to say, hold him to his word. He said, I'm all good. I'm 100%. I'm ready.
Right.
Then we're going to have to hold him to his word, right? He said, I don't need a tune-up. Put me in there with Danny Garcia. If Danny Garcia hits him with a no-look left hook and his head's bouncing off the floor, I'm going to say that is peak prime Spence coming off the best win of his career, 100%. I'm not going to make no excuses for him. He had the opportunity, and he said no. He actually debunked excuses. So I'm going to give him props for that. But at the same time, he can't fall back onto them later. you know.
No,
So
no, but
right. So,
First of all,
so
go
my,
ahead.
yeah, my sentence was, if his punch resistance doesn't look the same, and you make the determination that it was from the car accident, then you can't then turn around and say it's the signature win of Danny Garcia's career, right? It becomes one of those good wins that also has a backstory to it that sort of discounts the win.
that somewhat bludgeons it. I wouldn't say discount it though. See, that's why I don't want to take it that far. I'm not going to discount it because he still has to get credit. He beat Spence. He's unified. He beat a unified champion, whatever. But I'm not like, it's just like this. I ain't giving him full credit and making like it's no big thing. It's not like he went and beat a Crawford, who we know there's no injuries or no issues with, which you had a chance to fight Crawford, but you turned it down because you and Spence already agreed to fight each other before that ever came about. You already agreed to not fight Crawford before y'all got in the ring with each other. Also, with Danny Garcia, and for his fans, especially JFL, you idiot. I will say this.
bro, just don't disrespect Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
39 and 0, 39 and 0,
30
two-time welterweight,
yeah, 39
future
and 0,
unified
the motherfucker
champion,
only
future
got
undisputed.
well, we might as well say 40 and 0 with 39 fights. Well, look, okay. But like I'm saying, JFL, you idiot. Danny Garcia, before Crawford ever moved up, before the accident ever happened, while Spence was calling your cherry picking ass out, you had every opportunity to fight this dude before all of this happened. Now you wait until after it happens. Now you gun ho and ready to fight him. Oh yeah, you getting the asterisk on that win. You see where I'm coming from, IBT? Oh, you getting the asterisk on that win. Yeah, you going to get it.
I hear everything you're saying. I don't care.
I know, but I'm telling you now, you
I'm just
getting the
kidding.
fucking asterisk
I'm
on that
joking, I'm
goddamn
joking.
win, fam. Like,
No,
nah.
huge. If Kell Brook is moving down 2 weight classes again, his face broken, and Spence still gets credit though. I mean, I'm sure Danny will get credit. You know.
But that's the thing. Spence got partial credit.
No,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
not the
That's
way
it. That's
not the way
exactly what I'm
some
Okay,
saying.
people
well,
The
make
way
it.
that,
hold on, Smoke. Let me rephrase this because you weren't really around the YTBC at the time. I don't even remember IBT being around, at least speaking. From these fucking channels, fam, no, he was getting partial credit. They was bashing the shit out of Spence for that
Yeah.
Brook fight. So
Yeah.
he didn't get no full credit for beating Kell Brook. So why the fuck would I give Danny Garcia full credit for beating Spence and the
No.
same token?
Yeah, no, I understand that. What I'm saying is, in retrospect, people will like to say, look at Errol Spence's resume, right? They'll go, Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, Mikey Garcia. They'll just kind of brush over that. They'll go, oh, Kell Brook, Shawn Porter. It's just like in the middle. They throw it right in the middle. There's no real opportunity to bring it up. I don't really think that Danny Garcia is going to be fighting the best version of Spence we've seen. I don't think we've really seen the best version of Spence, in all honesty. I think he has to, maintain discipline. This is a result of his lack of discipline, this accident that has deteriorated his body, put his life at risk. I think Danny, I'm going to give him credit, but he certainly isn't receiving credit for beating, prime, perfect condition Spence. Like, there still is going to be a footnote that says, hey, by the way, coming off of an accident.
I have not heard a video from one Spence antagonist, people that don't support Spence, that always have something to say about. I've not heard one video from any of these guys like that. I will give you a prime example. My dude, like my brother, no arguments, no beef, IBFP, boxing nuke. I have not heard him mention Kell Brook once without mentioning the fact that he was a broken down Kell Brook. And anybody else who's a Spence antagonist, they don't just mention the fight and gloss over it, IBT. They always mention the fact that he was a broken down Kell Brook.
I'm not talking
every
about
fucking time, dog.
I'm not talking about people who are critical of Spence. I'm talking about Spence fans.
Yeah, but I don't count Spence fans. Just like I don't count the people who are not in opposition. You can't count them.
You don't count JFL? Oh my god.
No, because I count him as one of the idiots because he is in opposition. I'm not counting Spence fans. I'm counting the people who are against Spence or Spence haters or are the other fighter fanboys. Those are the idiots I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's one guy that I can say that was picking Danny Garcia to beat Spence before the accident.
JFL.
That's the one guy.
Yeah, he's consistent. He is consistent. He already said that it didn't have nothing to do with no accident. That motherfucker knew Danny Garcia would beat Spence, beat Crawford, beat Pacquiao, and beat everybody else that put in front of him as far as he was
Beat
concerned.
Canelo, beat AJ, whoever.
Whatever. If you put him in front of Danny Swift Garcia, JFL said he was winning.
He got them left hook in that right hand for that ass, baby. Usyk,
Oh,
step
shit.
up, baby. What you gonna try to
That
do?
motherfucker crazy as hell, man. J Bone said you paying people to install hidden cameras to secretly spy on you. I don't know what the fuck that's about. That's the best in the building. Was cool with you, my brother. He said, man, the Solo Brook has never been a bum. Yeah. I don't even know what the rest of that statement is, but I already went at that best of the best. We got to start with this bum stuff, man. You know, we got to really stop. It's just like I was getting on somebody in one of my comment sections. So they were talking about Josh Taylor and shit, right? And Jose Ramirez. And he was a Jose Ramirez fan, and I put up my video about Jose, whatever. I didn't disrespect Jose Ramirez, but I just said, seeing that fight with Postile and how he looked in that performance, I look at the fight with Josh Taylor differently now. And I think a lot of people do, you know? So he comes on there and he says, man, I don't want to hear that. He beat Postal. Y'all just mad, this, that, and the third. He going to go in there and knock that bum out. You see what Regis did to his eye. I think you seen the comment. So I told this guy, I said, listen here, man. So you got to realize, if you sit up here and you call Josh Taylor a bum right now, and Ramirez is going to go in there and knock out this bum, essentially you are saying that he had an easy route to go collect those 4-belt undisputed. Because later down the line, I will come right back to you and say, well, he didn't do nothing but knock out a bum to get those 4 belts. But you're not going to want to accept that. You're not going to want to accept that he just knocked out a bum to get his 4-belt undisputed. So stop calling Josh Taylor a fucking bum. And I'm going to say the same thing about Danny and Porter. Y'all stop calling these fighters bums. Because once your fighter wins and he achieves, then he did nothing more than beat a bum by your standard. So how much credit can you give him for beating a bum?
Yeah,
how much?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, my guy. Even though recently I haven't liked the way he's been conducting himself in the media, but Terrence Crawford is still my bum. It's still my guy. I don't give him a lot of credit for beating Jeff Horn. I just don't.
Yeah, I gave him credit. That was another situation where I gave him partial credit. I wasn't like all the Spence haters and Terrence Crawford super fanboys that said, Crawford, he just beat Jeff Horn. Did you see? Oh, wow. He beat Jeff Horn, a guy who doesn't box that well. Because that's literally who he beat. You can say, oh, he beat Manny Pacquiao. And did he box well doing it? Let's be honest.
Beautifully. Masterclass.
Right, exactly. That's my whole point. So I don't want to hear all of this shit about Terrence Crawford and Jeff Horn. Look at the caliber of boxer he beat. Let's keep it real, fam.
Yeah.
How much credit does he get for beating a guy like Jeff Horn? He cannot box. He's not a great boxer. He is B-level at best. At best. That's it. That's what Terrence Crawford got. That's what Crawford beat. Pound for pound, arguably number one. Moved up to 147 and beat a B-level boxer at best. How much credit am I supposed to give him? Please tell me this. How much? Oh, yes, well, I'm with you 100% on that. He gets partial credit for it.
Yeah, so one thing about calling fighters that are, unified champions bums, stuff like that, it's a real easy case to look at is Tyson Fury, right? What he'll do is if he's fighting Otto Wallin or Tom Schwartz, he'll say, these guys are undefeated and they're hungry and they're coming for my lineal status and I have to put on a good performance. And, he pumps them up because everybody knows it's a huge mismatch. When he talks about Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, guys who have legitimate chances to beat him, you dosser, you bum, you couldn't punch your
Yeah,
way out of
vice
a
versa,
paper
though.
bag.
Vice versa, IBT. That's true. But then going into the fight, what did he call Wilder?
Yeah, that's
The
what I'm
second
saying.
best heavyweight in the world.
I
So
know.
he's still pumping up. He was saying
I'm not
he was
talking.
number one.
Hold
was
up.
number two.
I'm not trying to make this about Fury getting credit. What they're doing, really, when they say stuff like that, it's just a way to sell a fight, right? You want to downplay the top guys and upplay the bottom opposition.
Right. That's what the fighters do.
Yeah.
But as a fan, I'm going to flame your ass. I ain't talking about the fighter. This was somebody that came in my comment section. Not Josh Taylor, not Jose Ramirez. An idiot. That's who it was. So I'm going after the idiots. And that guy was a complete idiot.
Listen, I can understand you're only as good as your last performance, but the Taylor, that just wasn't. I don't know. I think both. To me, it looks like Ramirez was going through the motions. He kind of mailed that performance in. It seemed uninspired. I don't take a lot from it. It was a long layoff. It was COVID. It's still a big fight, and I expected him to show a little bit more intensity and urgency than he did. But whatever.
Brian,
I don't take a lot out of it.
Brian says, I picked Crawford, the only guy to beat Spence before the accident. Brian, I picked those two guys, the only guys to beat each other before the accident. And if Spence looks good in this Garcia fight, I picked those guys, the only two to beat each other after the fucking accident. Because I don't see anybody beating Crawford but Spence. If Spence is not where Spence is supposed to be, I don't think anybody beats Crawford at 147. Period. That's it. So I'm there with you, Brian, and I felt that way before the accident. The only thing that changed my mind is the accident.
You know what? I on second thought, I have something else besides the accident. That Porter fight was actually a rough fight, and the Porter that I just saw looked actually degraded from that fight.
Wait, what?
I don't think so. I don't think he looked degraded at all. Smoke. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. There seemed to be something missing off of his shots. I don't know. There's something. There seems to be something missing from Shawn Porter in that Formella fight. To me.
Oh, you talking about the Formella fight?
Yeah, I'm saying like
I thought you talking about the fight with Spence.
No, right. I'm saying they both had tough fights, and I've seen Porter since then, and Porter seemed like he was degraded from that fight. So I can also imagine that Spence could also be degraded from the fight.
Well, yeah, I don't think that he looks degraded from the fight. I think we saw what we see out of Porter. I mean, he went in there and he had a tumultuous fight with you guys. Then he goes in there and he has a tumultuous fight with Spence. Then he goes in there and has a tumultuous fight with Formella. Before you guys, he had a tumultuous fight with, what was it, Berto? Who was that before you guys? He fought.
Garcia.
Garcia. So this is my thing. He has tumultuous fights. Every goddamn fight.
It wasn't even. Formella wasn't even for. It was like one-sided. It wasn't even tumultuous. It was just that I thought that Shawn Porter didn't look as crisp or as sharp, or like I think even in the you guys, he was a little flat in the you guys fight. But I thought he was even flatter in this one, right?
I just thought he was going through the motions. In my opinion, he clearly dominated Formella. Formella didn't really offer any challenge. He looked like he was doing like leaping left hooks, and then he was boxing, and then he would rough him up. I think he was just kind of making sure all of his assets are there, and they seem to be there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, there was just something for in the two performances. What I saw was like almost a different. To me, I thought Shawn Porter looked way better in the Porter fight, which he lost, than he did in the Formella fight, which he won.
I mean, yeah, you kind of, Errol Spence is bringing more to the table, so Shawn Porter is going to react with more. He's going to respond with more. Like I was saying, Formella was tough. He was durable, but that's about as far as it went. He had a good jab to disrupt Porter's timing, but even that didn't see a lot of success. Throughout the fight, I think I gave Formella 0 rounds. Porter really just kind of for 3 rounds was like, okay, I'm gonna rough him up randomly. Okay, now I'm gonna, try to box him. Okay, now I'm gonna be Roy Jones Jr. Like he was throwing leaping left hooks. He's trying to be like a little Mike Tyson at some points, and then he was, bouncing on his toes. I don't really think I don't really think he was giving a full effort. I think this is just kind of like a tune-up.
Yeah, it could be he was treating it like a sparring session, and I kind of got that feeling, but I don't. There's just something about the whole thing. I don't know. I felt like that was the worst performance that he's put in that I've seen out of Shawn Porter in a while, actually. Even though it wasn't even close. You're on mute. You're on mute, D. You're on mute, D.
I think he's got something in the background. He's got people working on his house. Remember?
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know if he's talking to us. Yeah, he's talking to us. Okay.
Yeah. So,
so I guess you can read the chat. I can't.
Oh, okay. If Spence loses his fight, it's still a great name for the resume, win or lose. Yeah, I mean, for Danny, I don't. Regardless of really, you can't stop it from saying he defeated a unified champion undefeated on BoxRec. Like it's, that's not going to say anything. But in terms of the fans, I think we kind of understand there's a bit of a, a footnote. That's not all that needs to be read. I had Porter being Spence 8 rounds to 4. To be fair, I'm being unbiased. I have no favorite in the two. It depends on what you favored. I had it 7-5 Porter my first viewing. I had it Spence 7-5 my second. I had Spence 6-6 my third. So it's a real close fight. I think just due to the knockdown, it's more likely you give it to Spence. But I mean, Porter was really competitive. That was one of those fights where I don't know about you, Smoke, but both of their stocks went up after the fight, in my opinion.
Porter made it definitely tough. The thing, in my opinion, that let Porter down was his accuracy. He was swimming too much, and he was just it was too hard to tell whether or not his shots were landing. Whereas Spence, he had the more like telling. You could tell that his shots were when he was landing. You could see it. It was clean shots.
Yeah. Best of the best. Say even if Spence loses this fight, it's still a great name for the resume. Win or lose. Facts. It's still good for Danny's resume. I ain't taking that away from Danny. Like, it's still good. It's still good. And hell, this means a lot for Spence if he can come off of this accident and take Danny out. That means big for Spence because.
Okay, so let's dig in. Let's dig into this. Is it bigger than beating Eric Morales at 140 past his prime? Like, is beating a Hall of Famer?
No.
Is that a bigger signature? Is Spence a bigger signature win if he wins?
Eric Morales? I think so.
I don't.
Eric Morales, none of his work was at 140, and he was past his prime. If you want to say Spence was past his prime, at least he was a unified reigning champion, and all of his work has been at 147. Morales at 140 didn't really belong. He gave Danny a competitive fight just on his grit and his heart. Really, he shouldn't have even been fighting.
Well, let me say this because I do kind of agree with that, IBT. Let me say this then. No, I switch up. I do kind of agree with what IBT saying here, but I do want to say this. If we go in there and we see a fight and Spence loses the fight and it wasn't, like his chin might have been shaking or whatever, and he just beat him, right? Then, yeah, man, it's bigger than the Morales fight. But if they go in there and fight and we can see clearly it's because of the punch resistance and Spence chin is gone, then it's equivalent. Because to me, he didn't fight the fighter that he was.
See, you have to know the backstory and all that stuff for it, right? So let's just say you're just going off of it, right? If you're just, we're assuming that if Spence loses, that he's not going to the Hall of Fame, right?
Without the backstory, Smoke, I would say that without the backstory, I would say Morales is a bigger fight because there's just that question from the accident, but. Knowing the backstory,
it would be the signature win on his resume, right? Yeah, it would be the signature win on his resume. I think even with the backstory, because I mean, beating a Hall of Famer is beating a Hall of Famer. You can beat a lot of people, but even a unified champion in his prime coming off an accident versus a Hall of Famer outside of his division.
You break it, Smoke.
It's a toss-up. That's the Danny Garcia issue. That's where Danny Garcia is at this point.
All right, there you go. You clear now. All right, he was breaking up a little bit. You good now, though. Top 6 said many stalk Spence at his fight. and said, Manny stalked Spence at his fight and said he wants to fight him next. No. Spence my boy, but I can't. See, this is the thing, bro. I'm a Spence fan and all that, but I don't let no bullshit fly, chopstick. That's not actually true.
Manny jumped through the ropes and he said,
Yeah,
Spence, I will knock you out. I remember.
Let me clear this up for anybody that's listening that don't know, because this comment is not true. Manny got in the ring. Spence mentioned the fight to him. Manny said he would love to fight at that stadium, all that, but we will see what happens. That's all Manny ever said. He never agreed to shit, fam. He said, we'll see what happens. Just go back and watch it. Manny ain't jumping there and say, Spence, I'm going to knock you out. Let's go. Let's make the fight happen. Blah, blah. No, it didn't go down like that. Spence asked Manny about the fight, mentioned the fight. Let's do it here in front of the Dallas fans. And Manny said, we'll see what happens. Basically, that's exactly how it went. We'll see what happens. That's it, bro. We ain't going to ad-lib or put no extra shit and act like Manny agreed to a goddamn thing. Yeah. But that's not what happened. That's not what happened.
No, exactly. Manny was there to jump in to challenge Mikey to a fight. That's what Manny was there for. When Spence won the fight, it was a completely different set of energy, and also Manny fought somebody else.
Right. So I'll see, and that's the thing, bro. Like, that's why I don't let no narratives ride, bro. Even if it's in my guy's favor or if it's not in my guy's favor. If it's a narrative, bro, it's a narrative. And that's just some foolery right there. And we don't do the tomfoolery on Speak Your Mind Sports Talk, bro. No tomfoolery allowed. We read that one already. Wait, here we go. People are giving Dillian White the hype job treatment since losing. Idiots. I ain't even gonna dig into that. Those people are called idiots. And for everybody that's doing that, you idiot. Now, best of the best said, I give Spence big credit.
White been a hype job. There's no started giving him the entire time.
So, hold on, let me rephrase this, Joshua, so that you all understand. Get This Smoke is not one of those idiots. He's consistently been saying White's a hype job. And it's just like I said about Trav FDY. I don't get on people like Trav FDY and Smoke when they've been consistent. And they've been consistently saying the same thing. Same thing with me and Bob Arum, and why I went off on everybody. Don't fucking come tell me that I'm just starting to say all of this because Teofimo Lopez. It don't have a goddamn thing to do with Teofimo Lopez. That's why Unbiased came up here and backed me up. I was saying this shit over a year ago about Bob Arum. The same shit. I've been consistent with Bob Arum. So if you show consistency like that, you can't come and argue with nobody talking about you only doing that because of this fight or this situation or that situation. So I can't do that with Smoke. I can't call Smoke no idiot. I can't do that with Trav FDY. I can't call him no idiot. Because the same way I was with Bob Arum consistently is the same way I've heard both of these guys be with Errol Spence and Dillian White consistently. They have not wavered, ever. And it don't have anything to do with perfecting or any current situation. Get This Smoke has consistently, since I met this motherfucker, said Dillian White is a hype job. So Smoke is not one of the idiots that I'm talking about. Not at all. I want to clear that up. The idiots are the ones who deserve to be called idiots. So, you idiots. Shit. I give Spence a big credit for even picking Danny as his comeback after. Yeah, for sure. For sure. He's showing. That's something that I said in that video that I did before Best of the Best. Fuck what anybody say, about Spence not wanting to fight the best and do this. This man just came off in an accident and is challenging one of the top 5 welterweights. Shut the hell up. I don't want to hear nothing about Spence. Damn right he gets credit. Justice for Boxing in the building. What's up? I'm not putting that comment up, but what's up with you, Justice for Boxing? But if I'm a Spence, if I'm in Spence camp with him, I get him a Mir Khan as a first. Oh yeah, get him some chin music. Best of the best. Put some chin music in there. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Rick. Put some chin music in there for Spence. I give credit to Spence for. Oh boy, here he goes. Here he goes. The Boxing Monster is in the closet. He's the in the closet Spence hater. But let's see what the in the closet Spence hater has to say. Well, I give credit to Spence for picking Danny. Question mark. Danny is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. An overrated chump. Well, the Pavement is not an overrated chump, boxing monster. And the last fight Spence had was against the fucking Pavement. And if I'm not mistaken, Spence lost that fight, boxing monster. So if you want to say that Danny Garcia lost his last 2 fights, well, I think in Danny Garcia's the 2 out of the last 3 fights he's lost, I don't remember Danny Garcia being knocked out or put into the hospital and waking up not remembering what the fuck happened. But what I do remember, boxing monster, is that fight that Spence had with the Pavement. He was knocked out, put in the hospital, and don't even fucking remember what happened when he was knocked out. So, boxing monster, cram that bullshit. How about that?
So, and just so you know, the Pavement is undefeated in all weight classes.
Right.
Undisputed.
Right. Have not been defeated, boxing monster. Spence went up against an undefeated fighter. Garcia went up against Porter and Thurman. How about that? Anyway, Alexander Paveka has been solid top 10 over a decade. He should have never been written. No, he shouldn't have. And anybody who did write him off IBT, where were they? You tell me. You tell me what they were.
Idiots.
They were idiots. You idiots. Well, what the hell just happened, dog? Boxing monster. Yeah. Here we go. Spence has cut back his drinking from all nights to just a few, one day at a time. Whatever, man. Y'all niggas haters. Now you hating, Trav. Hey, Smoke. Spence degraded from the booze. See? They're gonna hate. Now that's just pure hate, Trav, FDY.
Yeah, I told you. I've been telling you, man. Listen, you want to talk about his reasonableness. Like, man, that dude hates Spence.
I'm talking about it was reasonable on the PED shit. I ain't talking about that foolery right there, though.
Wait. How is that hate?
Huh?
In like being serious, how is Hay Smoke Spence his? Yeah,
right, but,
if you drink, of course you're going to be degraded. He said that out of his own mouth.
Yeah, okay. Spence is degraded from the booze. Okay. It's hate.
Okay. Spence being degraded.
He asked me how's hate. Where's the relevancy?
What's the relevancy? We're talking about the state of Errol
Spence. Didn't say that either.
Yeah, but that was
Spence didn't say that either.
IBT. See, IBT, don't try to justify bullshit with somebody taking a shot.
No, I'm not saying justification. I'm saying in the proper context that is just a fact.
But it ain't the proper context.
But it's not.
This motherfucker he loaded the clip, he aimed it at Smoke and said, that was a shot he just took, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, Spence did not say that he was degraded because of booze. Spence didn't say that.
No, he said that his performance was degraded due to his lack of discipline.
Hold on, Smoke.
Which would be booze.
All right.
No, it was actually he was talking about his weight.
Smoke, let me get
which is caused by what?
Okay. For the love of Pete. For the love of Pete. Thank you. IBT muted himself because he knew I was going for the button. Smoke. Here's the disconnect. IBT don't fucking know Trav FDY. That's why he don't understand that it was a shot. See, if he knew Trav FDY, then like sort of that thing where it's an inside joke type thing. Well, IBT don't get the inside joke because he's outside on this. He ain't been around Trav FDY enough. He don't know Trav FDY. And had he known Trav FDY, he would have known that he just loaded the clip and took a fucking shot. Yeah,
that's what all I'm saying is, man, if you're gonna hate on a guy, why is it always some shit that's not relevant? Like if you would have said barbecue degraded Spence, right? Then we could be talking about it. But it's just all the way back to the accident and all this stuff. Like, I get it. The dude drank and drove, he had an accident. Cool. We're gonna see the effects of it.
Yeah, but hold on, Chopstick. He said, man, he doesn't speak like that. He tries to. Yeah, but Chopstick, that's why I just told you. Go back and listen to it. I know, man, he's got broken English and all of that, but it was clear as day what Manny was saying. We will see, dog. It was no misconception. It was no broken English on that. It was just the simple fact that he wasn't talking about taking no fight with Spence at that time. Let me move this comment right quick. Hold up.
No, and he wasn't stalking no Errol. They had to invite Errol invited him into the ring. There was no stalking.
All right. It said Javante. Go ahead, IBT.
Gervonta Davis on Vasyl Lomachenko. If we get past our guys that we got ahead of us, then we can make it rock. I think it's probably time. Definitely not this year. If not next year, then 2022. I believe at the beginning of 2022 we can make it happen. What a baby! What a coward! What an actual coward! I hate Gervonta Tank Davis. I'm going to announce now. Any prediction or analysis, I will be unbiased. But evaluating his character, just what garbage! What a complete garbage
Who
statement!
the hell is El
What a
Jefe
useless
now?
call out. What an absolute. This is the definition of clout chasing right here. I'll fight him in. I'll fight this guy in 3 years, 2 years that I've already been talking about fighting since 2017. What a loser.
And then he says, if we get past our guys.
Oh
Right?
yeah. Oh yeah. He
So
wants
let me
Abner
break this
Maris.
down.
He wants
Let me-
Gary
let me
Russell
break this
Jr.
down. So he says, if we get past our guys, listen to this, everyone. Guys, which means they're already planning multiple fights in between Lomachenko. They're already planning this. Man, get the fuck out of here with this Tank Davis tomfoolery to the finest, to the fullest. Oh my goodness. Dog.
Yeah. So to me, this is absolutely not a clout chase. It's not a clout chase any more than Victor Ortiz Virgil Ortiz saying he's going to fight Errol Spence in 2 years. Like really, what he is saying is that he wants to make sure that it's a pay-per-view fight, and next year could happen, but definitely if it's not next year, then the one after that, which is, to me, you're locking in what I always thought was that they were aging Loma out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I called him a coward and a loser.
So, all right, Smoke, break that down to me again. What you saying about this? Because I don't want to misunderstand what you're saying. But I'm not sure that I'm on.
I'm saying I don't think he's clout chasing Loma. I think that he is saying what he has been saying this entire time, that he wants to fight Loma on pay-per-view, right? And for that to happen, I think he's saying that to maximize it is going to be next year or the year after. And none of it, I don't think, is cowardly on his part. I think for him, he is just chasing a buck, right? It may be cowardly on his handler's part because they're doing what I think that they've always planned on doing, is aging Loma out.
Okay. That's what I thought you said. I'm going to have to emphatically disagree with that bullshit. Okay? Emphatically. Listen, man. That motherfucking little dude should not even mention Lomachenko at this point. Period. I don't want to hear shit about you mentioning Lomachenko at this point. Like IBT said, this little bastard been calling out Lomachenko. This little bastard been talking about Wilder power. This little fucker been talking about what he will do to Lomachenko since 2017. I don't want to hear nothing about I don't think it's clout chasing. It is pure clout chasing. Nothing but clout chasing. And if you're going to keep calling somebody out, but you're not going to continue to fight them, you're going to continue to fight everyone else since 2017, I'm not trying to hear none of that bullshit right there, Smoke. It is pure clout chasing, and any other thing or label anybody else want to put on it, to me, it's acceptable. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. In this situation with Lomachenko, at every angle, Gervonta Tank Davis is full of shit. He's full of shit to the fullest.
Well, see, all right. So if he had been calling him out since 2017, I would agree with you. But because he called him out in 2017 and he's calling him out again, for me, he's been saying the same thing, right? He said, well, Tank said one thing and his handler said something else, and then he got on his handler's page. First, Tank was just saying he was going to fight Loma and he wants to beat Loma and put me in with Loma. They've been saying, hey, pay-per-view. Then he switched his tune to fighting Loma on pay-per-view. And since he switched his tune to fighting Loma on pay-per-view, he hasn't really mentioned Loma's name. Now that he is on pay-per-view, I think he's mentioning Loma's name again, right? That's my take on it. However, the overall thing of it is there's a point in this process at the very beginning where Tank was saying, I want to fight Loma now. I want to fight Loma next. That was a long time ago. And the Operation Age Loma Out started then. And if it's 2000, if you say it's 2017, I'll go with your word on it. I know it was just a long time ago.
It's actually
I was
2016.
living in
I was
LA.
wrong.
I was still living in LA then. So yeah, that sounds maybe 2017 sounds about right.
16. It says. I mean, this is what this.
Yeah, there you go. 16 sounds even better.
This is a nice timeline I found of Tank
Yeah,
Davis.
2016. Yeah, exactly. 2016 sounds even. That sounds more like it.
Okay, well, 2016 sounds more like it, but to me, I don't see anything still that tells me this was no fucking clout chase. I don't see anything still that tells me this ain't a bullshit statement from Tank Davis where he just needs to shut his fucking mouth. I don't see anything different or anything that tells me that Tank Davis don't deserve anything but pure heat and flame for even speaking on some shit like this.
Well, okay, I'll tell you really the only difference is for me, I always thought it was bullshit because I didn't think Tank was a pay-per-view guy. Now that he is a pay-per-view guy, I got to back off of that. I got to back off of he's just blowing smoke a little bit, right? And let's see how
is he a pay-per-view guy, bro? He hasn't even fought one pay-per-view.
I'm saying I didn't think he was going to be a pay-per-view guy. I thought he was just talking
but
shit.
in that case, Spence Crawford is a pay-per-view guy, and I think
we still don't know how much he's going to sell, though.
I got you. I understand. I didn't even think he'd get to this point. The fact that he's to here, I personally have to step off. You guys can say whatever the hell you want, but me personally, I got to go like, okay, he got he got at least this far.
So, wait. Sorry. So you don't have to see any margin of success in order to say he's not pay-per-view?
Listen, if the pay-per-view flops and he's still talking about Loma on pay-per-view, then we'll visit that, right?
Okay. So this is like a temporary thing.
But first, the pay-per-view has to flop, and he still has to be calling out Loma on pay-per-view afterwards.
Okay. So you would consider Terrence Crawford a pay-per-view star? Or sorry, a pay-per-view fighter?
I don't. I think that after his pay-per-views have been few and far between. That's hardly connote. You know, if after Postal, Terrence Crawford did another pay-per-view, we'd be talking about a different thing. But he only did the one, and then he did Amir Khan like years later.
I thought it was with Ndongo.
No, Ndongo's on regular ESPN. Watch that shit on TV.
No.
So
I think it might have
been let me ask this. Okay, let me ask this.
Your Honor, no further questions.
Yeah, well, I got questions. I got fucking plenty of questions. If Lomachenko is already, and I don't give a fuck what nobody say, he's a weight class above. He's challenging himself. He's a weight class above where he should be. Comfortable fighter weight. If he's already a weight class above, and then this little fat fucker comes up to 135 because he can't make weight at 130. And this little fat fucker been talking about what he'll do to Lomachenko and all of this for so many years. Why wasn't the fight talked about as soon as we move to 135? Why are we fighting a fucking Chinny Gamboa? Why are we not pursuing Lomachenko? Why, after the Chitty Gamboa fight, are we now talking about Leo Santa Cruz instead of pursuing Lomachenko? And then we come out and talk about Lomachenko yet again. Look, fuck Tank Davis and this bullshit. There is no justification for it. Fuck the pay-per-view star and all of this dumb shit. If you're not going to fight the guy, shut your fucking mouth. Period. If you're not going to fight the guy, we are tired of listening to the boy that cried wolf. You've been singing this Lomachenko song since 2016. Here we are in 2020 when you stepped up to 135 and decided to fight an old Chinny Gamboa. You're still singing this Lomachenko song and you're pushing it 2 years back. You idiot. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Tank Davis. And anybody who supports that shit, except you, Smoke, but anybody who supports that shit, you idiots. Because there is no justifying or supporting this bullshit that Tank Davis is saying. Period, fam. Shut the fuck up about Lomachenko, Tank. You don't have the balls at this point to get in the ring with Lomachenko. And I don't give a fuck. You can keep blaming the handlers, and I'm not going to keep blaming the handlers and taking this attitude with Tank because he's still running his fucking mouth about it. Shut your fucking mouth. Let Floyd and them do what they want. We know Floyd and them keeping you from it. But don't keep running your mouth to me about Lomachenko because you doing nothing but selling wolf tickets. You the motherfucking boy that cried wolf, Tank Davis. That's all you are, the fucking boy that cried wolf. That's how I look at that situation. No, he gets no slack. He gets no breaks. He doesn't get a goddamn thing from me when it comes to him opening his mouth about Lomachenko because he's had the opportunities and they have not even sought to take the opportunity. They've not even thought about taking the opportunity. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing that Tank Davis has to say about Lomachenko. Nothing. He doesn't have the right to talk about Lomachenko. That's how I feel about Tank Davis when it comes to Lomachenko. Shut the fuck up when it comes to Lomachenko. Tank, you little fat cabbage patch face ass fucking lazy little shit. You don't have the right to say nothing about Tank Lomachenko. Now that's how I feel. That's my feeling about Tank.
Okay. Your Honor, is there a question on the horizon?
No question. That's my judgment. And if I had my time, I would bang the motherfucker.
Throw away the key.
Yeah, right.
Tell us how you really feel, D.
Well, I'll tell you how I really feel. That little fat fucker need to do something with himself. But look, while I am bashing Tank, while I'm bashing Tank, let me give Tank some praise here because I've been following him. Yeah. I'm gonna give him some praise. Nobody is below praise. Nobody is above criticism. Okay, so here's the thing. Tank Davis, same credit that I give to Errol Spence, he's been looking pretty good in the gym. Been in the gym. Have you guys seen Tank Davis? Y'all get ready to get on it too, Smoke. I'm getting ready to get on it. Have you seen Tank Davis? I'm talking about guys. When you look at guys and you talk about their fitness, always look at the jawline. This is a fact. Now, I don't care. You're not going to see no fat, out of shape guy with a chiseled ass fucking jawline. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that. So you look at these guys' jawlines, right? And around that neck area. When that jawline starts to chisel up, they're staying in shape. Matter of fact, just visually Tank's his build right now. He's leaned out, bro. So Tank is doing something differently. The same thing I said about Spence. We can persecute these guys for what they've done in the past, what they've been showing. We can continue to persecute that for them. But what are we asking them to do, or what are we saying that they need to do if there's going to be a difference? They need to make some changes. This is what we're saying. So when we see these guys making the changes that we've been bitching about, then we have to acknowledge it, right? And so for temporarily right now, I see Tank Davis making some changes. And that means trouble for the rest of the 135-pound division, if you ask me. And I don't give a shit what anybody says because I've been saying this. Tank needs to do the right thing to hone that potential, to increase those skills. He needs to work on it. And if I see him starting to work on those things, of course, I'm going to see how he looks in his fights coming up. But if I see him changing these habits in between fights, if I see him in the gym, if I see him dedicating himself, and I see him doing all of the things that I've complained about, I'm not going to keep ragging him. I'm going to give him respect for that. And right now, I'm giving Tank Davis respect recently for the things he's been doing. Gotta give him respect for that. And if you haven't seen him, go look. Go to his page. Go look
what
at the
page?
exercises.
I'm not.
You say what?
They pray for doing what they're supposed to do. These are professional athletes. They're supposed to do that. Like I want to see them fight good fighters.
Well,
I don't really care.
Hold on now, Jose.
They look fit.
I don't think that's fair.
They're supposed to do that, D.
But I don't think that's fair, though.
So we're giving credit.
I don't think that's fair, Jose. That's not fair because people give Crawford credit for staying in shape in between fights. So he's supposed to do it. Correct. He's supposed to do it, but he still gets credit for it. So why not give Tank credit for it?
So Tank, okay, that's the difference. It's not like Tank is staying in shape. He's now losing the fat that he has, and you know
he's making changes. We demand that they made changes, and all of you guys have to. Jose, you set up here and say they need to do this, they need to do this to stop. So you've made a demand that they make certain changes.
They
so
haven't
when they
actually.
make the certain, hold up, let me finish. When we see them make the certain changes, what I'm saying, acknowledge it. Don't sit
Okay.
there and keep shitting on them. At least give them some acknowledgement. Why is it so hard to do that? We can't acknowledge the fact that, hey, Tank might be turning this thing around. He might be trying to. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to
Okay.
sit here and keep bashing him. Come on, fam.
All right.
I mean,
G,
that's
so-
cool. That's cool and all. Like I give him credit for that, but I still don't want to.
Okay,
I
but
still don't want to
motherfucker,
see him
you just
fight
said,
no
why
damn.
should I give him credit? That's all
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
supposed to give him
yeah, yeah,
credit
yeah.
for.
Hold on. So the only
You
issue I
just
got
told me
with
to
that,
give him
D,
credit, so I'm listening to you.
the only
You just
issue
told me
I
I need to
got with
do something, and I'm doing it, D.
My man.
the only issue with that is that Tank Davis just said he's worried about making weight, and the reason I give Crawford praise for staying in shape and Canelo for staying in shape, these guys who can, who can basically fight all year round because they never have to have a fat camp like guys like Tank Davis or Billy Joe Saunders, for example. It isn't that he's doesn't need a fat camp. It's just he's doing his fat camp right now because he has a fight. If I see him outside of a fight, like no fight scheduled, just chilling, and he looks like he's in shape, I would give him praise. But he's talking about how he's worried about making weight, and he's approaching his fight. So, of course, I expect him to look slightly slimmer than 200 pounds. I mean, just look at this photo like a couple months ago. It's not centered properly, but if you look at it, dude, I believe is in his 6th or 7th month of pregnancy. So, I mean, it's great now that he can lose weight that fast, but I'd prefer, really, if he just kept the weight off.
Yeah, that was a little. I never remember that photo. It was a bit longer than 2 months ago. But look, check this out. Also, Tank Davis before going into this camp. I don't know if you remembered it, IBT, but you were around. Maybe you seen it later. He been start working, dog. He been start doing all of this. He'd been in the gym. He had went over there in the gym. He was in the gym with Virgil Hunter, working out. He had been jogging. He had been working down weight. This was before the camp. And again, these are the changes because I said in between fights. I'm not talking about going into the camp like you're talking about now, going into camp doing what you're supposed to do in camp. Yeah, that's natural. Tank's actually been doing this before the camp, IBT, which is something that I'm not accustomed to seeing Tank do at all. Before the camp, he's fucking off. He's not in the gym. He's not working with
You're saying
different
the
trainers.
fat
He's
camp?
not dedicating himself. And I have seen this before this camp, not just in the camp. So I'm seeing differences, and I'm going to acknowledge it. Whether you guys want to keep shitting on him and talking shit about him or not, that's fine. But if he does something good, I'm going to acknowledge him. I'm not going to bash anybody all the time. If they deserve to be acknowledged for something good they're doing, let's give them some acknowledgement. Like, what's so hard about that? It's easy to sit there and bash it, dude. It's easy. I call them little fat cabbage paste. I call them all of that all the time. But now let's acknowledge some things when it needs to be acknowledged. That's all. I'm not going to, that's just how I am. If y'all don't want to acknowledge the fact that what he's doing, cool. I am. I'm going to acknowledge it. And I think that it appears that he maybe attempted to make some changes. That's all I'm saying. I was in prison. After I got out of prison, I'm not the same guy. Under the logic to keep persecuting people for what they did in the past, I would be a hypocrite if I keep doing this to these fighters because I believe that people can change. I'm not one of these guys. I hear it all the time. Once a cheat, always a cheat. Well, if in that logic, then I'm still a criminal, no? I'm still a drug dealer. I'm still willing to go pick up a gun and shoot somebody on the street. I ain't willing to do none of that shit. But under the logic that we hear from these fucking boxing fans, once a cheater, always a cheater, right? Nah, I can't be hypocritical like that. But however you guys want to think, that's on you. I just can't do it. Because if I do it with them, then I will have to be that way with myself. And I'm not anything like that element that I used to be. People can change. That's just the reality of it. So that's why I'm with that. Jay Cooley in the building was good. Big Cat was good. Tank will lose this fight. Wow. You think so, Jay Cooley? I think Tank's going to destroy Leo Santa Cruz. Now, that's a surprise too, Jay. I wouldn't think I heard that from you. What do y'all think about that fight? What you think, IBT? Think he's going to lose this fight?
I think the way it pans out is either Gervonta Davis is just absolutely so terrible that Leo beats him on volume, Or I think the more likely option is the guy who's walking around really heavy, the big puncher as well for the division, is going to probably stop the guy who his best weight class is featherweight, but that's not even where he started out. He's really way too small for 130, and I think his title at 130 is very fugazi. I think this is essentially set up so that Tank can recapture the title in spectacular fashion against the name.
Agreed. Yeah, and I don't think he loses this fight. Smoke, what you think? Think Tank loses this fight?
Loses. I had that thought this morning. Of a gassed out Tank and a Leo who didn't go down and just kept throwing. But that's just it's a feeling that I had. There's a joke about a tank top that I'm working on, and I just can't quite work out the details of it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I could see. For me, it's a good fight. I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't know, man. I still think what the issue is. How does Tank win if he doesn't knock Leo Santa Cruz out?
I think Tank is I think Tank can still beat him, like just boxing.
You think he outboxes Leo Santa Cruz?
I can see
At
Tank
130.
outboxing Leo Santa Cruz.
The only issue is.
Hold on. Can I finish?
Yeah, I didn't realize.
You mind if I finish very quick? The thing is this: is like I can see Tank Davis scoring more aggressive. Landing the better punches. He's quicker than Leo Santa Cruz. Tank can move. I can see him beating him on the points because, like, say Tank hurts him in round 2, beat him up. Leo lands more punches, but Tank hurt him in that round, and he landed significant punches, heavy shots. He hurts him again in round 4. He hurts him again in round 8. And then we get to the end of the fight, and the punch numbers are in Leo Santa Cruz's favor, but Tank was never hurt in a fight. He was always aggressive. He hurt Leo 3 times. He could still win that fight. And not to mention the fact that the judges are probably going to be in his favor. So, yeah, I can see Tank winning on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, right. So that's adding like some political stuff. I'm just saying, you get a guy that essentially went through a fat camp that had a double chin. Right, he makes weight. Who knows what that weight is supposed to be? Anywhere from 130 to 135. I'm sure there's some sort of contractual deal that they're privy to that we aren't. That's completely different target weight than what we know about. I mean, anyway, I'm not sure about that, but I suspect that that's true.
Well, my bad. Go ahead.
For me, I can see a situation, and what I've noticed in Tank over the last few fights is a decline in output. For me, the foray into 135 was more about lack of discipline than it was about him wanting to test his skills at 135. I think he just ate himself out of 130. And I think this is supposed to be a return to that. Right. So if he's having, I'm not sure what this is, where to place him, but I can see him admiring his work, not throwing enough shots, getting outworked, and a situation where Leo Santa Cruz didn't get dropped. And in that scenario, I favor Leo Santa Cruz. I think it's more likely, though, that Tank knocks him out.
See, I'll put this back up because I ain't trying to hear that bullshit, Smoke. I really ain't trying to hear that bullshit about eating itself out of 130 and all of this shit. Because if that was the case, then why move up to 135 and get this fugazi ass belt?
Right.
My turn, Smoke. I was quiet. I was quiet. My turn. Now, I ain't really trying to hear no shit about eating in it. I look at all of those type of shit as just excuses for the bullshit Tank Davis is doing. All the reason is to blind people from the fact that Ellaby and Floyd are on some pure bullshit with this dude. If that was the case, he didn't have to fight a Gamboa for no fucking vacant belt. If it was just to fuck around because he ate himself out. No, they was on some bullshit. The whole fucking Gamboa situation was complete, utter bullshit. Bullshit. And as far as this fat camp, I don't like. I'm not online with you or IBT with this fat camp because I just said he was training and losing and getting down before he even came into this camp. I saw a different level of dedication, boy, in the gym, jogging and carrying on before he even came into this camp. So I'm not looking at it as he's coming into this fight off of no fucking fat camp. I think he's coming into this fight under different discipline and practice than he's been using the whole time. That's what I see coming into this fight. A different Tank Davis. Not the same sloppy, undedicated, worthless motherfucker that's been coming into these other fights. I don't see that. And I don't see him coming off of no fat camp. He was trimming down before he stepped into this camp, is what I keep trying to say. So I can't think perspective of him coming off of a fat camp into this fight. That's why I think he's going to beat the shit out of Leo Santa Cruz.
Oh, okay, by fat camp I mean ballooning up between fights. That video that we saw of him sparring was like a week before the fight was announced. Right, his schedule. Like he already knew he was going to be fighting when he started doing this whole workout and road rage. Like this is fine. It may not be the official start of his fight camp, but it was after he knew he was supposed to be fighting Leo Santa Cruz and had a date and all that stuff. Right. So that's all I mean by it, right? It's the way he balloons up between fights, and really, I applaud his efforts to slim down and all that stuff. I'm just saying that I can, answering the question, can Leo Santa Cruz win the fight, or do I think Leo Santa Cruz is going to win the fight? I favor Tank by knockout, but I did have this feeling this morning, and I do understand that there's an issue about just what I've seen out of Tank when it comes to his output, right? I agree with you about the whole, stacked judges and the political part of it, but I'm not going there with it, right? I was just talking about what happens in the ring, like scoring the fight honestly, right? What do I think that me scoring the fight honestly, I could see a way forward for Leo Santa Cruz to win this fight, and I'm saying, yeah, I can definitely.
Right, France. I was in Southampton in Virginia, fam. Southampton in Virginia. Go ahead, IBT.
Yeah, I don't favor Leo Santa Cruz to win this, but like I stated before, just to be a little more serious, a little more analytical, I don't give Leo Santa Cruz much of a chance to beat Tank Davis, but the one thing that I do see is the same thing that Smoke sees, where if Davis gets real sloppy and maybe he gasses out early, because he actually highlighted my issue with the fat cams perfectly. It's not that he's not slimming down earlier. It's just that he's already blown up. Like before this, he was blown up, right? So regardless of how early he works on it, there was a period of time where he was sitting on the couch and stuffing his face and down in bottles. So, you know what I mean?
All right, Cole, what's up? Yeah.
So,
he was fucking around, though. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So now I'm glad he's focusing because he does have a fight scheduled, date, opponent, all that good stuff. But let's say he is to gas early. One thing I know about Leo Santa Cruz, regardless of his power, chin, any of that, the guy's got an insane ability to go 12 rounds and throw an extremely high amount of punches. If half of those punches, if 25% of those punches land, if 20% of those punches land, he'll have landed 200 punches on Tank Davis across 12 rounds. And if Tank's real gassed out, that might be enough to just outpoint him on volume alone.
Right.
But, we need to – I think we'll be able to tell after the third round where Santa Cruz's durability is, because like I was stating in the chat earlier, Jay Cooley says 126, 130, 135, not far from each other. Lomachenko's like a natural featherweight kind of fighting at lightweight right now, and the size advantage isn't, he's got too much skill. He's got too much technique and talent to lose to just pure size. But Santa Cruz isn't a guy from 126 to 130. He started his career at like 115, if I recall correctly. And Tank Davis is a naturally bigger guy than 130, really, right? He can make 130, but he's not entering the ring at 130. Leo Santa Cruz is likely entering the ring at 135, maybe less. Davis is going to be at least 140. I feel comfortable saying that.
I would just add that Loma has a gold at 132. That's all I'd add.
Yeah. I think his first one was 126. I'm not sure.
All right, so
His first gold was at featherweight.
Yeah, yeah.
all
And then
right,
he got a
so-
second one at 132.
So that is a great breakdown. But I want to say this because Jay Cooley said what he said. Very, very valid. IBT said what he said. Very, very valid. Now I'm going to say this. Which you spoke on this, IBT, him moving up in weight to the bigger guy. And Jay Cooley, 126 to 135 is a 9-pound differential, Jay Cooley. Save that bullshit. That's a 9-pound differential. Don't give me that it ain't too far off. Every boxer will tell you the big, huge difference from
Dude.
the 140 to the 147 jump. Now you're telling
Yeah.
me 126 to 135, 9 pounds is not that far off. Kill the noise because you're not even factoring in the weight cut, dude. 9
I don't feel
pounds.
like he's-
Hold up, whoever that is ready to cut me off, chill with that shit. I don't even know who it was, but the 9-pound difference in boxing, you have to account for. So stop the bullshit with it's not that far off. Now, whoever the fuck was getting ready to cut me off, go ahead, your floor.
All right, so look, you're not really considering body frame. Now, my midget diminutive ass is 5'8", so if I gain 20 pounds, I'd look like a fat fuck. It's much different gaining 9 pounds, being somebody who's 5'4", or 5'5", however tall Tank Davis is,
Right.
and being 6 feet tall. It's not the same.
Not the same at all. Another thing, another factor that, I heard IBT break down and Jay Cooley. What about the factor that, I keep saying this, Leo Santa Cruz is something similar to a fucking Garrett Hurd. The fact that he goes in there and uses his face as a third fucking punching mate. What about that goddamn factor? Because, yeah, he can throw all of these volume punches and hit Tank with all of this. But what about how many times this motherfucker is going to be hit by somebody that hits harder than anybody he's ever been in the ring with? What
Exactly.
about that goddamn factor? Because I ain't hear you or IBT mention that fucking factor.
Me? No, I did. I said it.
That to me is a real important factor. That this motherfucker uses his face like a third glove in every goddamn fight. Okay?
IBT's
nobody
picking.
touched that chin. Ain't nobody Leo Santa Cruz been in the ring with. I don't want to hear nothing about no fucking Abner Morris. Ain't nobody he been in the ring with touched that chin like Tank Davis is going to touch that chin. And if I'm not mistaken, Tank Davis is faster than Leo Santa Cruz. So he can beat him to the punch. What the fuck are we missing here? Yeah, Leo Santa Cruz is this. Yeah, he got a hard punch, but he's coming up in weight, and he's fighting a guy coming up at a higher weight class who hits harder than anybody he's fought at a lower fucking weight class. That motherfucker's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, I agree. I was saying the only way he can win, I think, if he surprises us with his durability. But really, the fact that he has such poor defense and Tank is a big puncher for the division, who's going to come into the fight at least 145. That's like minimum.
And beat the shit out of that dude.
He's just going to batter him. He's just going to bully him.
See,
The first-
the thing that nobody has mentioned is, and I know that we all are aware of it, is Leo's also lack of power in the lower divisions, right? How does he keep Tank honest? I don't think necessarily he's going to be able to keep Tank honest. So really, it just comes down to conditioning and Leo Santa Cruz's punch resistance.
I honestly don't.
And also the volume, like and not just conditioning, but Tank's work rate. I think the guy spends a lot of time admiring his work. He's turned into he has more volume than Adrian Broner, like slightly higher output than that.
Well, I think he's got a better
More active.
output
That's
than
the word. The more active Adrian Broner.
Yeah, I
Like-
think he's definitely a more active Broner. He's got a better output than Broner. But let me ask y'all this. Does Pedraza, in your guys' opinion, does Jose Pedraza hit harder or Leo Santa Cruz hit harder? Who do you guys? Pedraza. We can even say Pedraza. Pedraza couldn't get fucking Tank Davis's attention. So what the fuck make anybody think Leo's going to be able to do?
Look,
No,
I think
Pedraza touched him a couple times.
Tank Davis was walking through Pedraza's shots, man. He wasn't getting any respect or attention from Tank Davis. So what the fuck? Leo Santa Cruz, mosquito bites, boxing monster, mosquito bites. He ain't gonna Tank gonna be like, what was that? What was that? Nothing. Not gonna do shit to Tank.
I think the fight gets stopped late. Tank is going to dominate the first 3 rounds, demolish Leo. Leo's going to try to move around and use his jab a bit more. Tank is going to take the middle rounds off. Leo may win 2 out of 3 of them, maybe 4. I don't know. And then Tank will turn up the jets and just dominate him the last couple, maybe 3 rounds. And I think the corner will throw in the towel, or the referee will step in at about round 10, round 11. I don't think Tank stops him, because I think he's just going to gas out, and it's going to be a very episodic sort of fight for him. He's going to have moments where it's looking like he's going to get him out of there, but he's not conditioned enough, or I'm not going to assume he's conditioned enough to be able to sustain such an attack against a person who has a pretty proven punch resistance in Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah, well, I disagree with that. And I know Leo's never been stopped before, and I get people with that sentiment. I think this is the fight Leo Santa Cruz is going to get stopped in. I think that listen, man, people, we always say this. This is boxing. Anybody can get stopped, right? We always hear this. We always say this. This motherfucking Leo Santa Cruz is a stop waiting to fucking happen. And again, he's been proven. He has a good chin. He's shown durability. But by anybody who hits anywhere close to Tank Davis, no, the fuck he is not. He's not been in the ring. You guys give me a name of any fucking fighter he fought that hits anywhere close to as hard as Tank Davis does. Anywhere. And that dude has not been in the ring with no one like that. And as we say, this is still boxing. Now, I've said myself, Tank Davis' power may be slightly overrated, but that little motherfucker has power. He is going to knock. Let me tell y'all something. I am more comfortable and way more confident that this dude is going to knock Leo Santa Cruz out. I'm more confident than that as I am in Tyson Fury is going to beat Deontay Wilder. That's how confident I am that Tank Davis is going to stop Leo Santa Cruz. Now, whether it be a TKO because the ref is just like, no, that's enough. He's going to kill this guy. Or whether he knocks that little motherfucker out cold. He's going to stop him. It ain't going to be no fucking decision. We ain't going to see no miracle win and Leo will take that. We ain't seeing none of that. Stop it. Stop the bullshit. Tank fucking Davis is going to stop Leo Santa Cruz. This motherfucker's going to stop him. Straight up.
Yes, I honestly give Leo.
Why'd you put his mugshot on screen, man?
That's why, because I want you to get it clean through your fucking head. He's going to stop that motherfucker.
Honestly,
you see how puffy Tank's face is? It looks like he kind of got jowls in this.
I genuinely don't give Leo a shot to win this fight.
Building. What's up, Andrew Tucker? Man, 20 grand said Frontside 2 can't happen, but Cruz will be in the fight. Yeah, he's the busy. Nah, he gonna be in the fight.
Leo will not be in the fight.
He's gonna be in the fight, Andrew. He's gonna be in the fight to get fucked up.
He's not going to win this fight. I feel like people are forgetting that Leo just went life and death with a domestic level fighter in the Lord.
He didn't go life and death. All right?
Yes, he did.
You kind of throw that
he
one around.
Probably won 4 or 5 rounds.
No, he didn't go life and death at all. However, that performance, if you just look at that, nothing indicated that he would be able to even hurt. I don't even think hurt. Like, I don't even think Tank's neck is going to snap back. I think that's how little power Leo Santa Cruz has at 130.
Yeah, I don't see him doing anything to Tank. Yeah, I don't see him doing anything to Tank. Well, the most those punches Leo Santa Cruz are going to do to Tank is just slightly getting away. Like, come on, man, stop that. Take that. Come on, stop. Take that.
Like a fly. Like, it's just gonna be like a fly landed on his face.
Exactly, dog. Like, come on, pow, cut that out. Fuck wrong with you? That's it, man. And I hate to say it, like, you know, I got a lot of respect for Leo Santa Cruz, but against the guys he's supposed to be fighting, he's not supposed to be fighting Tank. He's not, bro. This is not one of those situations where Manny Pacquiao's coming up to a bigger margarita. No, it ain't that situation. Manny had a chin and he had hellified pop. Leo Santa Cruz uses his chin and he ain't got no damn pop. It's different.
Honestly, I'm not gonna make a pre-fight prediction to this fight. I'm not gonna make a post-fight prediction to this fight. I'm gonna treat this fight like it's just some barroom brawl out in the middle of Oklahoma or something like that. This fight means nothing. It's horrible. It's a mismatch. There's
It is
zero.
for the
Yeah, this fight sucks.
it is for the
Terrible.
WBA super strap.
The what?
It is for the WBA super strap.
Honestly, the super at 130 is like the regular in most divisions. That was the fakest super strap of all the boxing.
Trav FDY. It ain't that I'm speaking highly of Tank. Again, bro, I will defend any fighter. I keep telling you guys this. I didn't even like Tank Davis. Not him personally, but as a boxer in his career, I don't advocate for this dude. So I ain't really speaking highly of it. To me, I'm just speaking what to me seems like common sense. I don't have to like Tank Davis or have faith in him to know that he's going to beat the shit out of Leo Santa Cruz. And it's more or less my opinion of this fight is more or less, Trav FDY, about Leo Santa Cruz. It's less about Tank and more about Leo Santa Cruz and what he has to offer. Because the things you guys are telling me he has to offer in this fight with Tank at 135, I don't see that as enough. That ain't enough, man. The shit that people telling me Leo got to offer, that's not enough for him to beat Tank at 130. That's my thing. So this ain't really about Tank or me praising Tank, but prior to this camp, I'm acknowledging the fact that I had seen Tank level of dedication different from what I've ever seen. He started before the camp, working out, jogging, losing weight. He wasn't in the clubs. He was in the fucking gym with Birdu, practicing. He was sparring Red Cats. He was sparring other guys. This is not characteristic of what we've seen from Tank and what we're holding against Tank, especially you right now, that I'm taking him seriously after the old shit. What about what's going on right now, fam? Let's talk about right now. And what I see from him leading into this fight, I ain't leaning on that old shit. Plus, what I think of Leo Santa Cruz moving up in weight and using his damn face as a punching bag, I can't see it, dog. I can't see Tank losing this fight.
A disciplined Tank stops Leo in 3 rounds.
An undisciplined Tank stops him in 9.
Yes.
I agree with that assessment.
So that's what I'm saying.
This is a total mismatch. I think, D, if you're going to be live on that day, I'll be on the panel. We can do our live reaction to
as a matter of fact, let's make it. We're gonna do it. Me and IVT gonna do a co-commentary for however many fucking rounds it lasts. We'll go round by round. Hopefully, I get the loud one.
We could watch Paint Dry, or we can watch Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. I think I know which one.
No, just get a guy who's saying Leo's gonna win, like Trav or somebody else, and just do a podcast called "I Told You So." What? Somebody's got to be right.
Yeah, man. But I'm betting on Tank on this fight by the stop. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna lay about 4 bets on him because I'm picking 4 different rounds, and every one of them is before 6, motherfuckers. I'm telling you that right now. I'm gonna pick him to stop.
Wait, you're picking before 6?
I'm picking 4 rounds. I might pick the 7th. This is how I'm gonna pick Tank to stop him. It probably will be okay. Now let me say I'll probably pick 4, 5, 6, and 7. Different tickets.
I think 7's good. Honestly, I don't think that he's gonna stop him before 6. Not that Santa Cruz is some, defensive master and he won't get caught until the later half, or I think it's just Davis won't turn up. He looked absolutely atrocious versus Gamboa in terms of ability to finish someone off. So I don't think he's going to be able to catch him early like that. Leo will be too fresh.
The fight will go similar to Johan Duarte with Deontay Wilder. Wilder's just going to throw bombs, but Duarte is going to take it in his high guard and just eat punches.
Maybe Tank will get his face lumped up a little bit from the very few shots from some of the rather unimpactful singular shots that he lands.
Well, see, here's my thing. Here's my thing, and why I'm saying 4, 5, 6, and 7. Leo Santa Cruz. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like Tank not starting off again, man. I'm seeing a different fire in Tank. Like, look, the whole Devin Haney. Let me tell y'all something, man. That whole Devin Haney situation, riding with Floyd out in Vegas on the fucking airplane, going out to dinners, Floyd working with him in the gym. Like, a lot of these guys are like little bitches, man. Little hoe-ass bitches. And that's what I see in this Tank situation. Now, whether that sparks something or not, the jealousy, bro. The fact that Floyd was putting that attention into Devin. Regardless of what everybody say, yeah, well, Devin was always with PBC and around that camp. Yeah, all of that's true. But if Tank came out and was making comments about it, fuck all that shit people talking about. That motherfucker was feeling it. It was on his mind. He was tweeting about it, back and forth, left and right. Then you see him in the fucking gym with Virgil. Then you see him jogging. Then you see him saying he gonna show this and he gonna show that. That motherfucker's on a mission to prove something, which he had no motivation before. He didn't have motivation before because they were spoiling the shit out of him. He could fuck around. He could be lazy. He could fuck around and get smacked up on the couch and come into the fight and still make money. He had no motivation. Now he's motivated. His motivation, although comes off of jealousy, it's still a motivation. And I see a certain level of motivation, dedication that I've never seen before. He's going to fuck that little dude up, fam. He's going to do more than just go in there to make a fight. He's going to go in there to prove a point. You want to go fucking with Devin Haney? Let me show you what you fucking missing out on. Because this shit has always been in there. Hold on, Smoke, because this shit has always been in there with Tank. I've been saying this. I've been continuously saying this. The potential I don't take away from this guy. He needs to do something to improve and hone that potential in him. But this has been inside of him. He's going to unleash it, unfortunately, for Leo Santa Cruz on him. He's going to unleash it on him and beat the living shit out of him. Go ahead, Smoke.
Right. I was just gonna say there's just a couple of just blips in that timeline. And I agree with you with the whole, feeling like he's in competition, and on some level, even if it is very superficial, and in order to draw attention to himself, the whole Floyd Mayweather thing, just to make sure that people know that he's also part of that whole whatever. I'm just. He also had the video of him and his girlfriend like eating grapes, and him having like a hissy fit with her. And he also had the red catch thing where, he said he's only working on 3 shots and that's what he was doing. But fast, I wouldn't describe him as like looking particularly fast or particularly fit, but it was some time ago and he hasn't gone through camp yet. And, like you, I expect him to win. It's just, I expect him to dominate. Right. Like, I think that everybody expects him to win, and also inside the distance. No one. Yeah. There's very few. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know that there's a few people who are definitely picking Leo, but mostly they're picking against Tank. Very few of them are picking like for Leo.
Exactly.
I don't actually think that Tank has potential. I think he's declining as a fighter. I think that the Tank that beat Pedraza would demolish his Tank. His footwork is not the same. His reflexes, not the same. His power doesn't look the same. His explosiveness doesn't look the same. His leaping lead hooks don't look the same. He lunges into his shots even more. He doesn't re-anchor his weight back to the neutral or back foot the same way he used to. He drags his back foot, doesn't cut the ring off that effectively, doesn't fight backwards as effectively. There's just nothing he does that resembles anything better than he did. His setup isn't the same. He's declining. He's not the same fighter.
Intangible. To be fair to Tank Davis, because I have to be fair, I don't remember or recall him being in too many fights against any fighter that will pull half of those things you said you've never seen him do out. I don't recall him being in too many fights where he would even have to utilize a lot of those tools that you're talking about. Because as far as I can remember, I don't remember Tank being in a fight where he was even on the back foot too much in the fight. He always had these guys on the back foot. That's number one. Number two, I can't say that he's declining because he's never peaked out or headed to his peak. They've never given him the opportunity to go uphill. He needs to go uphill. I don't see him declining because I have not seen the incline.
Well, he
Hank has been
inclined.
talented.
Sorry.
Thank you. Hank has been talented since he came into boxing, and he has not honed those skills. He's just been at a certain level. I can't say that he's declining because we've never seen him get the opportunity to improve yet. They're not putting him in the fights to improve. And the fact that he's only 24, I'm not going to say he's a declining fighter because it's not too late for him to turn all of this around. Start dedicating yourself, start fighting better competition, start sparring better competition, and just simply get better. At 24 years old, he has plenty of time.
He's actually 25.
25 is still plenty of time, bro. That fucking year don't make a difference. It don't turn him too old. That
Well,
1 year don't make a goddamn difference.
If there's no type of improvement after all these fights at the age of 25,
What does that mean?
I think
What
the
does
clock
that
is
mean? I
starting
got
to
out of
tick. It's not the
business
same
at
as a heavyweight.
I don't
Hitting
care.
at the age of 25. They have all this time to improve. These guys at a lower weight, we have to expend more energy.
Okay, yo, fuck all these stigmatizations about people not being able to change. I don't believe in that. I just explained that this dude is 25 years old, and I believe this firmly in every fucking body. If I can change, people can change. I'm not stuck on this dumb shit about people make a mistake and that's always them. That's the stupidest fucking mentality, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's a stupid fucking mentality. People can change, fam. Period. I was a criminal for more than half a Tank's life. I'm not a criminal anymore. So I don't give a fuck that he did this for 3 or 4 years in boxing. He's 25 years old. He can change. Period. I'm not going to sit here and act like the dude can't change, especially at 25 years old. That's ridiculous for me to even think that way, for me to think that way. If you would like to think that way and say all hope is lost and he'll never change, fine. I don't think that's the case. That's all I'm saying.
So you're saying that I'm only getting my indication off of one situation and that you believe in
I
Tank?
just said what I said. Now you can try to revamp that. I said people can change. That's what I'm saying. Nothing more than people can change because of my experiences. For 17 years, Tank's only 25. That's 8 years less than his lifespan. I was this guy, and I'm not anything like that guy anymore. So I don't want to hear that he can't change. That's what I'm saying. So if you pull anything else out of that, so be it. I just told you what I'm saying. Clearly, that's it. Nothing more.
I'm not saying he can't change. I just think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be any less than 7 years until he exits his physical prime where everything can be reversed.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
Okay. Well, I don't agree with that because I've seen athletes in multiple sports change in way less time, and I've witnessed it. And many, many years of many, many sports watching, I've witnessed totally opposite of that happening. So, sorry, don't believe that.
I can almost 99% guarantee that I'll be right about this.
Okay, but again, I have seen instances where you're incorrect already. I mean, I know what he like 19, 20. So I think with the 26 years, I've had a little more experience in seeing what goes with athletes. So I've just seen a lot more, bro. I'm just saying. I've seen this happen over and over again. And maybe in your 10, 12 years of sports watching, you haven't witnessed it yet, but bro, it happens. Sorry.
No, that's not going to happen.
Hey guys, can I just a request? Can you remove Javante's floating head from the center of the screen?
It's very unnerving.
This kind of weird Easter Island thing happening. Like,
that's your boy, Anderson. Well,
yeah, I mean, I don't need to. I don't have posters of him on my wall. He ain't my boy like that. Like,
yeah, well, that's my boy. That's my boy right there. And I'll tell you right now, if we're talking about him versus Tank Davis, he will beat Tank Davis's little ass. How about that? Anybody disagree with that?
True.
So true. Will beat the shit out that little dude. How about that, Trav? That's what you want to hear? Fuck Tank Davis. When it comes to my boy Teofimo, he'll trash that motherfucker. How about that? Since y'all think I'm defending Tank, fuck Tank. Teofimo, the takeover. Anyway, man, you know, my boy Errol Spence, dog, y'all stop hating. Not y'all on the panel, but y'all idiots stop hating on Spence. He gonna beat Danny Garcia like a bass drum. Danny Garcia ain't gonna win a goddamn thing. He gonna get his ass whooped. I'm confident in Spence's chin. Spence's chin is gonna hold up. It don't even have to be spectacular. It just gotta hold up not to get stopped by Danny Garcia. That's all. That's all. And he's gonna do that. He's gonna beat him up.
Danny has good one-punch power, but he's not a finisher. Is how I would describe him.
Yeah, I don't think he's a great finisher either.
It's going to take more than one punch to get Spence out of there. Spence has a good chin from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And if you can't finish him, Spence is just going to recover. He'll come back in the next round knowing he does have a great stamina and conditioning, and he'll just replicate what he usually does. He'll come back stronger. He's going to have the better stamina. I think I've seen Danny gas before against Lamont Peterson, and I think that's really where Spence is going to start to take over.
But that's one thing too. He's gonna be in phenomenal shape coming into this. It's gonna be.
The Spence Porter. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I also saw Danny gas against Shawn Porter as well in the last couple of rounds. That's where Shawn Porter
they were both tired.
Fight.
Yeah, they were both tired, but Shawn had a little more in his tank. I agree with that. Go ahead, Smoke.
I was just going to bring up that fight. I think that there's something kind of personal between the two. They were competitors, but they wanted to. I feel like they wanted to outdo each other on some level for some time before they were ever famous. And I think that came through in the fight. I don't know if that's the same intensity is going to be there for Danny, but I can imagine if Errol brings that same kind of intensity, that it brings something out of Danny that we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, ass whooping.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna win the fight. He ain't gonna. Yeah, he's not.
That's what I'm gonna bring out. We ain't never seen Daddy get his ass whooped like he gonna get his ass whooped in this fight. That's what's going on.
I pray he does.
BJ Freeman in the building. Was good. Prime Fight Champion said Teofimo versus Davis. Would love to see that for real. Yeah, I would. I can't say that I would love to see Tank get beat up so bad, but I wouldn't mind. But it would just be a massacre, and I'm not sure I want to see Tank get beat up like that. So.
Yeah, I don't really see, if I thought Tank was a real lightweight, then I would agree. But I don't think getting a WBO against Gamboa makes you a real lightweight, and I don't think Teofimo is actually a real lightweight either. I think Teofimo is going to be something else. Like, I'm not trying to. I don't care about that fight really.
He's too big, bro. I keep telling people that Teofimo's too big for Tank, bro. He's too big. His dimensions are all wrong for Tank, and he can box. It's not just a guy that's bigger and stronger than Tank. My dude Teofimo can fucking box, and he's honing his skills. He hasn't come in here like Tank Davis fighting bullshit fights and guys coming up. No, he's honing his skills. He's going up the ladder. He'll beat the shit out of Tank Davis. Fuck that. Tank ain't no fuck that. He beats the shit out of Tank. I bet money on Teofimo 10 ways. I wouldn't put one bet on Tank Davis. Not a long shot or nothing. Teofimo will beat that little fucker's ass.
The ideal result, and I agree definitely. I think Teofimo just, destroys him. The ideal result for Tank versus Santa Cruz would be Tank getting beat up for all 12 rounds, and the last second lands one punch. Leo Santa Cruz gets knocked out. That way, both guys can endure as much punishment. Just that would be the perfect result. No way, actually, it needs to end in a double KO. That would be the perfect result.
DJ said if Errol utilizes strength and conditioning this camp, then it's a wrap. Hey, let me tell you something, BJ. I'll send you a link on. I'll send you a link in the DM. Watch this video. This motherfucker been working, bro. He been working. Been at work, man. So I'm telling you now, he coming into that fight in phenomenal shape. I think Spence has it in his head. It could be, I'm not sure. But almost coming in tip-top shape is almost like a backup plan. Because if I have a little problem with my chin, I'm going to have to beat the shit out of this dude. Either way, I'm going to win this fight. So I think this dude is coming in tip-top shape, full game plan, ready to demolish.
I think even without Blu-ray, he looked his conditioning still looked good against Porter.
Yeah, I agree.
So if he gets a strength and conditioning coach again, that output could probably increase. And Danny's going to really struggle. I think Danny honestly could gas out. I think Danny is definitely going to gas late because with Spence likely coming forward and throwing of the amount of volume that he's accustomed to throwing, Danny's going to have to throw a lot of counters. I believe both guys will land quite a bit, but Danny is not used to throwing a lot of shots. He's going to gas.
And just after watching Danny Garcia fight Ivan Redkach, which is a southpaw, because this is all I'm comparing it to, guys. You know, fighting southpaws is an awkward task for anybody fighting a southpaw. Awkward task. So just seeing his performance against Ivan Redkach, who's not half the southpaw that Errol Spence is. Not half, literally. Let's be honest. He's not half of what the unified champion in Spence is. And the struggles he had with Ivan Redkach, I can't see Spence doing anything more than beating the hell out of Danny Garcia in this fight. I just can't see it.
Ivan Redkach is also not a natural welterweight.
Tank just gave him problems. Tank Davis just gave him, and I know it was sparring, but still, guys, Tank Davis just gave this dude problems in sparring. I don't care if they did just take a little clip out of it. Tank Davis just gave this dude problems in sparring. And that's who Danny Garcia just struggled with. No. Spence is whooping his ass.
It's not very fair. I mean, Redkach isn't even a natural welterweight, and he had to go against a light heavyweight in sparring. I think you didn't include that.
I don't give a shit. What I did include is this is a left-handed or southpaw fighter.
I got that. I got the joke. I got it.
That's what it is. This is really the point. This is a southpaw fighter today, an attempt at what fucking Spence is. Spence is a total different southpaw animal. And Danny Garcia is going in the damn. He went in the ring with Ivan Redkach with a little rat, a little mean rat that was a southpaw. Spence is a fucking Tasmanian devil southpaw. It's two different battles, dog. A rat and a Tasmanian devil. Two southpaws. He struggled with a rat. What do you think happened with that Tasmanian devil? Y'all ever seen the commercial?
I don't know. I think we are redefining what struggle means because I don't remember him losing a round. I thought he looked all right. He just didn't have to do that.
I am redefining this, smoke, and I'm talking shit. He didn't look good in the fight. That's my struggle. I mean, look, dog. Like I said about Tank Davis, the Gamboa fight was supposed to be impressive. The fact he went 12, that's a struggle to me. Danny should have knocked Redkach out like he did Granados. The fact he didn't and went 12, that's a struggle to me.
Smoke,
So,
I think
I'm redefining it, but that's what I mean, Smoke.
I think Redkach won like maybe 2 rounds, but kind of same thing you were talking about Shawn Porter dominating Sebastian Formella, and you said you think he declined. It's just just how you rate their performance. I think Danny really underperformed versus Redkach, whereas with Shawn Porter, I kind of expected him to just brutalize Formella for 12 rounds. I thought he would stop Redkach, considering he stopped Granados. He had a tough fight with Porter. He stopped Rios, and he gave Thurman all he could handle, right? Just the rapid decline, just saying that, right? Thurman, he lost a split decision. He stops Brandon Rios. He has a really close decision with Shawn Porter. He stops Adrian Granados. Just hearing that, you're like, okay, well, he's going to stop Redkach. This dude's a bum. And,
my God, Smoke. Let me tell you something, dog. IBT catching on, Smoke. That motherfucker been around us a whole lot. You don't watch this kid, because that motherfucker.
Oh, no, man. You don't know the half.
You put it right back on your ass.
You don't know the half, man. Man. Today, I'm talking about today, not even forget.
Smoke. Nah, that's a good point, Smoke. IBT. You can't be saying that shit, Smoke. Talk about some decline with Porter, and then talk about you ain't see no struggle with Danny.
No, I'm saying I saw. See, here's really the difference. I saw Porter not able to execute a game plan and then go to another game plan that he would, because I think he was trying to sit down on his punches and get dude out of there, but at a certain point that just wasn't good. That wasn't his thing. He couldn't pull that thing off anymore. He had to use angles and use activity and all this other stuff. And I think before the Porter fight, I think he would have been able to sit down on those shots and get Formella, or at least fight the kind of fight that he wanted to fight.
Yeah, maybe. The best of the best said, I got Teal Smash and Taker 135 facts. Memo Castro said, I think Errol wins, but he's got to be careful with Danny. So, yeah, he does say hard with both hands. But this is the one I was laughing at. Trav says, Smoke, is it true Errol is sweating out lots of alcohol beverages in camp?
I am not in camp with him. I think he's closer to your side of the thing. And why are you obsessed with his alcohol intake? Go ask Kovalev and all these other dudes to drink. Like, they found out why David Benavidez missed weight. Are usually cokeheads, like usually they lose weight though, right? So maybe that was his diuretic.
Not when it's combined with cheeseburgers, though.
Now, where was that? IBT. You see what I'm talking about with Trav? Let me tell you something.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
With a full clip, like with Smoke, I'm telling you. He come with a full clip. Hey man, intangible. Give me some.
No. See, the whole thing of it is he was. I remember Trav was like puffy nipples, IBF. They don't do USADA. He needs to be on VADA. But now he's the WBC champ, and he's no longer on this steroid thing. Now it's alcohol, right? It's just evolving. Let me pick out a thing that I can use to somehow castigate Errol Spence.
Hey man, Trav FDY been tired of Errol Spence's bullshit from day one. Now I will say this: there was some bullshit that Errol Spence was on that, as a Spence fan, I wasn't acknowledging or accepting the shit either. But Trav was on that shit too before I acknowledged it and accepted it. Well, now Trav and I actually agree with that. Yeah, Spence was on some bullshit. So this is what I always say about Trav. It ain't like he only takes shots at Spence for one thing. He been taking shots at Spence for all of the things.
Right. That's what I'm saying. See, I know from before that whole whatever went down with Bud. He's been on the puffy nipples is before that. It predates that.
Yeah, we ain't talking Kovalev, damn it. That's one. And two, I'm fucking with you.
yeah, I know, but that's the whole point. That's where it came out. Because some people fixate on highlighting the negative. However far they must reach to grasp that straw. No matter what the branch.
I want you to read that comment right there, IBT.
Talk about the thinnest of branches.
I got it.
The thinnest of branches off of the steepest of cliffs, willing to go off to grasp that straw. Get out of here, man.
He got it loaded, Smoke. Don't you move. Freeze. You move, you gonna let loose. Give me some closing thoughts, Tangy. Give me some closing thoughts, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Trav got me.
First of all, man, I just wanted to say salute to the OG D Jefferson, the whole panel, and the chat. Tank Davis will annihilate Leah Santa Cruz. If it doesn't go that way, I'm deleting my YouTube channel and every single profile I have online, because that is just impossible. What else? What other fight predictions must I announce? Well, I must reiterate Tanaka beats Yoka, and also a new one I must add to my inventory, which is that Charlo will demolish Rosario. I don't have anything else to say. I'm out of here. Have a good one.
Nah, bro. Thanks for coming. Well, I tell you like this. If Leo Santa Cruz don't get stopped by Tank, I will come up on a live with a big bowl of crow and start eating. I'll eat some crow for you guys. But I ain't got to worry about eating no damn crow because Leo got to go. IBT, give me some closing thoughts, man.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on. Had some fun. I think, let's just go over some facts before I leave, and that's Danny Garcia will be 39-0 with another knockout and 2 belts when he leaves that ring. What I can't think of anything else. If Gervonta Davis loses to Leo Santa Cruz, I am reopening my previous statement, which is, if he loses, I will be going to Intangible's house and blowing it up with a rocket launcher. Yeah, that's about it. Peace.
Peace out, dog. Thanks for coming on. My man, get this smoke.
What's up, man?
Hold on, smoke. Hold on. Smoke gonna close out. You gonna close out today, Smoke. I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna let Smoke close the show. I'm gonna say this, guys. Leo Santa Cruz and Errol Spence are gonna beat Danny Garcia and Errol Spence and Tank Davis are gonna beat Leo Santa Cruz and Danny Garcia like a fucking drum set. They're gonna switch the sticks. Both of them motherfuckers getting their asses whooped. And I don't want to hear anything else. And if it don't happen, I'm eating crow right here on this show. That's my closing thoughts. Stop disrespecting my man Spence. I'm not trying to hear it. And if you don't like it, come here and click that link and let's get it in. Smoke, close the show out for us, fam.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you totally. Errol Spence is going to win by butt cutting, and Leah and Gervonta Tank Davis is going to stop Leo Santa Cruz. And if that should not happen, and Tangi does the Dominic Brazil challenge, then I will start an auction for Deontay Wilder's rocket launcher, his grenade launcher, so to give to IBT so he can go to Tangi's house.
That's what's up,
Peace
dog.
to the channel. Peace to the chat. Peace to the panel.